that's the lesson for tonight. Vasectomies. We're back for.
Did we record that?
No, I did not. That last part I did know. But not the whole conversation.
Thank goodness. That's for the best.
Session 14.
Let's just say ladies are thankful for the gentlemen at this table.
Oh my god.
Session 14, The Damned. I always like to start that way because I think it makes it. It's like the cold open, right?
They're a mystery.
Because I remember earlier when we first started recording, like when we would start recording, it was always really weird. It was really quiet. Until
like you're on a stage.
Until Nick opened a crack can of something.
Cracking open a cold one.
So now I do a ha ha.
Nice ha ha.
Look, we're all having fun. We actually are.
Yeah,
turns out.
So turns out we are actually fun. Adam's out. He's still feeling a little ill, but we're going to continue tonight.
Gilly's back, baby.
Dave's back from Tampa, Arizona, or Tempe, Florida.
Tempe, Florida, either one. It's fine. Juxtaposition.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe record that entire thing. I have no fucking clue. I don't know. I do want to show off, though, this kick-ass terrain.
Yes.
It's two-sided.
That looks super cool on
I
screen.
know. I can't wait to put trees and scatter terrain on top of it.
Yeah.
If
If you're not watching the video, it looks like green and grass, and
Yes.
And if you
Browns.
flip it over for the flip mode squad,
you see the digestive biscuit.
it's the body of Christ.
or as Great British Bake Off says, the s'mores.
He did specific. Don't remind me.
The s'mores.
The
pieces.
atrocity.
Yeah. So let's talk about so we've already done
Tacos.
Tacos.
Hollywood saying tacos. I was like,
oh my god. So we did initiative ladder. We've done our fortune and misfortune pool. We should talk about what happened last session. We should just get right into it. It was so we picked up like outside of Shepherd's
we fought
Pass.
the guys, right?
Yeah, we're right in Shepherd's Pass. We kind of started there. Excuse me. So what happened there? Because you remember where we left off.
Yeah,
Paige.
we started in combat.
Yeah, we started in a fight. That's right. Because those the
tattered-
Tarnish Knights
Tarnish Knights.
had
Stood back up again.
risen again. That's
Yeah.
right.
Cheaters.
And then you all quickly dispatched them.
Yes.
Well, I
Good.
think the party had already almost did that. It's just they
Yeah.
didn't remember to.
And it was not like entirely unscathed because I do think Spillicent caught some pretty solid shots over there.
Yeah. Yeah. I did good. I did.
You did.
Yeah.
With the ye old Widowmaker. Yeah.
Yeah, I busted out the Widowmaker again because it's fun, guys.
Not because I can't control it.
Like it a lot.
So Espilson is possessed by her sword.
I am a little.
We know that.
Yeah, definitely.
But the party just remembers. It's we're in the land of the dead stuff. Just fire everything.
That's what the sign said on the way in.
Just fire it all.
Everything
Just light it on
on fire.
fire. Just
Yeah.
make sure.
So you
'Cause
just
it's probably not dead.
So you dispatch the Tarnished Knights and beyond the cave that they were apparently guarding
We
or
assume.
was Tiberius.
Hey!
And I was very not convinced and convinced simultaneously that you were good bad.
What have we learned about Tiberius? Not in Tiberius's words.
I would keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
They like the ghost or is it ghost spirit? Poe basically had said that he was responsible for the salt pillar.
Yeah.
And he's a bad guy. He's a super bad guy, and don't mess with him.
Yeah, that's
And
right. That night,
I was
right.
more on the side of that. I was
There was
skeptical.
because there was the
But when we met him, his brain's broken.
yeah there was the
There's no bad guy there. Just broken brain man.
so there was the song that Tiberius kept speaking of.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what were the words that you heard that Tiberius heard? It was being played every evening for 2 years straight about your part and what had happened.
I feel compelled to do it with the rhythm, but I can't.
It's actually written arrhythmically.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
All gathered at the precipice and brought Judge Tiberius. She was brought by decree, the saint, dragged by the sea. The saint had brought Genesis, had defied the imperious. I watched Carmen bring the jubilee, caused the blind to see. Tiberius said, her blessing treacherous, misjudged by the delirious. Carmen crucified for Mercadian glee, drowned by Gentish sea.
So that's Tiberius. So he comes out of the cave and discovers that the jail he was locked in wasn't even locked.
Right. He's been eating bugs and varmint.
Yes.
Whatever came
Little-
in.
little
On
rat.
the good days.
Rat on a good day.
Yeah.
Good day.
So you were imprisoned in that cave then, not guarding anything.
They were guarding me,
They were guarding you. Gotcha.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
I believe.
And so Tiberius comes back to camp. He comes back to Bastion, and you continue your trek towards Sodden and Poil, and that's when you start to notice, now that the season of Ember is here, the season of warmth, summer, that the landscape and the geography begins to change as you get closer to Sodden and Poil, and you discover that it's actually kind of a deep swampland, some number of days outside of Shepherd's Pass. You leave the salt people in your wake. And that's when you're joined by Beatrix, the bookbinder, who starts telling you stories about Sodden and Poil, because you discovered that you couldn't bring the wagons deeper into the swamplands without potentially getting them stuck. So you're camped half a day outside of Sodden and Poil, and so you begin your trek there on
It's a
foot.
T.
Yeah,
Half a day this way, half a day that way.
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
0 people at 1 and 40?
17 or 20.
So there's a sign that kind of splits. To your point, yeah. One says Sodden, and it used to have 22 people. Now it's marked out and says 13 souls.
Oh, that's right.
And Poil used to have 19. It's crossed out and says 0 souls. What did Beatrix tell you on when you were walking toward the one-armed bookbinder?
She told us the story of basically the two cities had strife with each other, and it all ended up with.
There was a group
What
of
was it called?
interlopers.
What was called the game they played?
Oh,
We
yeah.
don't know if it was a game. Puddle humping?
Puddle jumping.
Puddle jumping.
And it turned
Water,
into
water,
Evocative.
water.
it turned into a local skirmish called the War of the Pond.
Oh, Lord.
Well, my hometown has puddle jumpers, and we call it poodle humping. So
I've been to Odessa puddle jumping. That's why it's actually in this game. So what was the War of the Pond? Like, what did you learn about the war between Sodden and Poil? And we use war,
loosely because it was such a tiny.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking about handfuls of people.
There were a group of interlopers that came in and slaughtered a local deity in the form of a large swine.
Oh, shit.
Which caused strife between the two towns, which then caused more strife when it was about fishing rights?
Yeah, the stirpike that are in the
Yeah.
pond.
Fishing rights.
Yeah. The lake, rather.
So it sounds like one side finally got the advantage.
I believe that was Sodom, right?
Sodden.
Yeah.
Sodom.
Which has got some arborist or
Baron Martell, as he calls himself.
Baron Martell. A baron of 19.
Those interlopers are player characters from another game, previous game.
No.
Oh, what about Jubilee? What was that?
The
I wrote down
Jubilee was something related to Carmen.
That's Carmen's blessing when she started giving out blessings and miracles, right?
Okay.
This is a D&D first level spell where you can bless everybody without limit.
Well, no.
But yeah, so in the
It's
because
canonized.
Tiberius was there for the Jubilee.
Right.
Allegedly.
He explains kind of what the Jubilee was because he's a believer in the saint. That's the discovery.
That's how she was canonized, right? Is because of the Jubilee.
Causing the blind to see. Her miracles.
And then you and the Mercadians slaughtered her and, created the Red Death.
That's what the song tells me.
Yeah, that does not entirely add up.
Did it actually happen if you didn't remember it?
Yeah, there's like a gap.
We've
Yes,
all-
categorically.
If that's how this works, then literally the last year is.
This is like Schrodinger's story.
That's kind of the balance that we've kind of all decided on, though, right?
Mhm.
Is that
If you remember, we'll kill
path-
you.
I don't think that was the line.
If your actions were justified, you're out of here, fella.
But Tim's right though. That's the paradox, right? What is the truth?
Because
right?
none of us really know our past.
That's right.
That is true.
That's right. The truth is slowly. I mean, the big truth you discovered was only a few sessions ago.
Right.
True.
With Hat Guy.
Hat.
That's what
It's
it's
actually
called.
Big Hat Guy.
Big
Yeah,
Hat,
that's
sorry.
technically
Lord Darius?
Big hat guy.
Lord Darius, the
Big hat
lamplighter.
guy.
Yeah.
Batman.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
hat
Still didn't
guys
get that
out
fucking
He was
there.
Lord Darius.
Never.
Custodians being
Never
held
lived that
hostage
down.
by the Minister of Light.
That's right. So you've came here though because you're seeking out the lieutenants of the Minister of Light.
The Witch in the
In
Woods.
the Witch of the Woods is apparently near Sodom and Poel, and we actually begin our story on the trail to Sodom, where you're heading.
Because we decided to go where the people were, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
That was the original.
Yeah,
I thought that's what we decided.
Yeah, there was no reason to go
that's right.
where no one was.
Oh, there's reasons. We just
Oh,
chose
there's-
not to.
Yeah, there's reasons.
We could scavenge a great deal, I imagine.
You could feel
The
the
bookmarm came with us, right?
yeah. So Beatrix,
Bookmarm.
she's the woman
That's a
with
good
the
one. Bookmarm.
long midnight black hair who's missing. She has
Right.
one arm and she has the tattoo beneath of her chin. She's carrying a book. Yeah. She's walking along with you in her long voluminous midnight blue robes. You know that she is a student of Simon the Small. She has professed as much. And you were just having that conversation with her when we actually left off the last session. So we kind of pick back up on the trail. And now the road to Sodom has clearly been treaded?
Trodden?
I'm going with trod. The road's been trod.
Trodden.
Trodden. That's good. Yeah, it's probably old English. It's been trodden. Trodden to Sodom with wagon tracks that have probably been here for as long as you can remember. And you know that from your map that this is kind of the midpoint in the center of the country of Galleon. Because if you recall, you had that giant map.
Map. Mm-hmm.
And there was the unnamed city, and there's the cathedral, and there's Sodom and Poel, and then to the far west is the city of Ghent.
We found the unnamed city, though, right?
Yeah, that's where you were. Where you were in Lord Darius Moreau's home.
Yup.
Yeah.
Big heck.
Big hat guy.
Big.
I wrote that down, actually, Darius Morrow. Thank you very much.
Big hat guy. So you find yourselves, whereas before you were in the city of the damned, and now you find yourself in a very different place. There are mosquitoes buzzing around. The water burbles every once in a while, like a bullfrog kind of moving a bit. The aroma of the dying forest around you can be smelled. Bog water everywhere. Large mangrove trees whose thick roots kind of penetrate the soft soil you walk upon. And even though that the road that's been trodden to Sodom by wagons, the earth still feels soft. And it's hot. In fact, I think if you recall, we actually had to make some toughness tests to withstand the heat for those who are wearing heavy armor. Who's wearing heavy armor again? Oh, yes. Yes. Well, we already made those tests, so we don't need to roll anything for that today, but I do need to mark on your here, so heavy.
I'm very comfortable in this train.
Yeah, man.
I actually am like,
Yeah, man.
my feet, like
I
I'm
just coughed in my hand. That's
working them into the earth and feeling them in my
you.
toes.
You're welcome.
And the bottom of my like robes and clothes are
It's
kind
because I
of
haven't had
muddy,
anything to drink.
and I'm happy.
So
think,
yeah, you feel like you almost belong here to some
Yeah.
degree in that sense.
I like
That's still a
this.
sense.
Yeah.
The mud squishing between your three little ninja turtle toes.
Yeah.
The earth feels warm and inviting. You feel a kinship with this place, but you're not really sure why.
Yeah.
Something perhaps in your past, something from your people. You can't really recall, but you're heading toward Sodom, with Beatrix, and the story kind of picks up from there. You know you're about a half day out.
I think.
And that is how the pond came to be, she says. Or she concludes. I'm also carrying the Lost Boys book, which is full of lots of nudity, coincidentally, but I just prefer holding this book because it's comfortable.
Are you one of those learner types too?
I was a student of Simon for many years.
Are you part of the priesthood?
I don't know if I would call our order of the priesthood. Elor Knights,
Are evil?
as I understand it, the order stands outside of the covenant, but I was not trained in the ways of. I was not trained in the Elornite ways. Simon was an Elornite at one time, yes,
All right.
but he, like many others, as you all, have left that in his past. He does not carry those traditions forward, nor do I.
Well, Pip is. She's still sucking on that great teat, but you know we're gonna wean her off someday.
I think Keon's really just sitting there, more so just absentmindedly moving his eyes between Tiberius at this point and the mandolin that large nice lady that we found in the Shepherd's Pass gave to me.
Yes. The memory of Poe, you kind of think back, cut away, back to the darkness, back to the crackling of fire, back to the vault of night with all the stars and the mirror large in the sky, and the stories that she told you around the fireside, and in the morning when she was gone. An echo, an ephemera, a spirit, whatever it may have been, a memory that is gone. But she has left an indelible mark upon you in the form of the mandolin. And here, beside you, walks Tiberius, the man from the stories, who does not match up with what Poe said.
He's not the Reaver of Rome.
He does wear the trappings of his prisoners, or his jailers rather. He wears the armor of the Tarnished, carries one of their maces, carries their shield.
All right. And then there's this song that he heard for 2 years. Is that's the correct portion? Mm. Okay. All right.
I'm like always kind of keeping outside the perimeter, but you guys notice that I am tending to stay a little at the perimeter closer to Tiberius, because not only am I looking behind us and watching our backs, but I'm also kind of still keeping an eye on him.
I'm sticking close to Clovis and Tomas right now. You gave me a sandwich. Tiberius does not soon forget. No, water. You gave me water, not a sandwich.
Water. Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
I did give you food too, but
I do feel bad because I like paying attention to Beatrix. She's very smart. She tells very good stories, but this is bothering me.
So what exactly is the plan when we get to this place?
find out where the witch is at, burn her, and move on.
Well,
Oh, and then we burn her.
ask questions.
Then burn her?
Potentially, yeah. I don't know.
Don't get too questioning on those questions.
Last time we asked a bunch of questions, we ended up leaving the big hat guy, and I still think we should have,
Did he lie at any point with those answers?
yeah, burn it all down though, man. That's the solution to kill the white devil god who is controlling the world.
I'm going to concede that point. That might be the case. Yes.
Yeah.
But first, in order to find white devil god, we got to, ask questions.
I know that I'm.
You're not allowed to ask yet.
That's a good point.
There you go.
Yeah. No, this is entirely up to Clovis. I'm mostly just kind of guiding his force, if you will.
Well, I just meant more that I should the
Just
song
start laughing. Yeah.
should the song prove correct? I believe there's somewhat of a cautionary tale within there. The burning women with power. Perhaps something we may wish to consider.
Oh, you didn't burn the martyr. You crucified her.
That's what the song says, yes. I meant more
There's no.
hastening the demise, I suppose.
This is my
Oh,
homeland.
let's look towards the future.
All right.
Potentially
Head in the
burn
past.
someone.
Head in the past.
Well, I mean, I'm just telling him. We're burning the dead. He crucified a saint. I mean,
I get kind of
Right,
irritated at the talk, and I walk between everybody, and I kind of go with my Widowmaker, and I just keep walking ahead.
Just go. The head goes right down to the mandolin.
I think she wants us to move.
Anyway, Beatrix, I apologize. As you were saying.
Oh, I had nothing else to proffer. Just more of a need to know, I suppose, about Sodom.
Anything that you know that we possibly would help us?
Say for whatever hold this Baron Martell has over the people of Sodom.
Apples, right? Yeah.
According to the story I read in Lord Darius's journals of travel, he received a great number of guests in the Forgotten City. One of which was Baron Martell, or ostensibly, I think. And the story gets a little hazy. I can only piece together certain. There's a point in the stories where Lord Darius's big hat guy,
Thank you.
as she motions towards close, where Lord Darius's writings turn to ravings. So not everything is easy to transcribe, I suppose. It is written in a tongue I don't readily speak either.
And,
And remember, we can trust her. She's not a learner.
this is all old news. You know, things could be changed by the time we get there. Could be a new lord. Could be something else. Maybe
Could be-
everyone's dead. Who knows? Could be a pack of walkers, you know?
Did just specify 13
Husks.
souls. Yeah. That really is pretty broad definition.
Husks seem to rust in
At
this
least
land.
in-
Or souls seem to rust away in this land.
So does everybody wake up in the cathedral?
She pauses
Around
this
this
for a
point.
moment, and she says, "Not everyone.
Not everyone.
Simon did, as did the lot of you."
Okay. Okay. Where do you wake up?
I have only experienced the passage once, but I don't recall where I had awoken. It was almost like what I can only imagine a baby would feel when they were born. I saw nothing. There was just light, and then I awoke. Or my memory came to me. I was at Bastion. I was among the wagon train.
Well, it'd be way more convenient than having to go back to the cathedral. I mean, not to.
To be born again in the bosom of friends and your home.
Yeah.
Much more pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but I feel that Simon is a cautionary tale. What happens when you make the passage too
Too many
often?
times?
He has passed 39 times through the eye.
Were those willful, involuntary, a mix of both?
My master has been mostly forthcoming about what he remembers. One was the most recent was when he awoke back at the cathedral with all of you. Prior to that, it was at the hands of the brass paladin.
I was about to say, you remember the brass paladin, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is it? What is it?
So that makes what, 2? So that's
He's,
7 more that we don't know about.
He's a crazy person that tries to use the husk to kill others.
Oh,
He's got a lot of power.
He was once with Bastion.
He was
Basic-
once part of our group before Tama took over.
souls rust away, fall into ruin these days, fall into evil. However, some redeem themselves.
He was basically what happens if you die too many times.
Well,
I see.
it hasn't happened to Simon.
It's true.
But it hasn't happened to... Son of a squirrel. What's his
Stall.
Stall. Because he's on 8, right?
Stall?
Yeah.
Stall's on 2.
Oh, 2. Okay, 2.
That's right, because Stall got kicked in the head. With
Yes. He said, I quote, I got horse kicked.
I got horse kicks.
Is what he said.
Yes!
I remember Stalin. Fine and capable warrior, I imagine.
He's a great guy to drink with.
Don't know why, I just enjoy his presence.
Kettlesmith.
More of,
Certain
more
kinship
of a
with
kettlesmith than a fighter.
To be frank, though, my role with Simon has not only been as a student, but as a scholar to transcribe the comings and goings of Bastion. That's why I'm here.
Okay. But not a learner.
No?
Okay. Still on solid ground with you then.
I mean, I can read, so is that a problem? Or?
No.
Okay. All right.
You're not an Aloranite, are you?
Oh, no.
Okay, then you're
Oh,
still good.
learner with a capital L.
Learner with a capital.
Gotcha.
How will they write songs of us if they don't know our history?
I'm good with her taking notes or whatever that bookmarm thing that she does is. I mean, I don't really understand it, but you know, I'm the blunt instrument here, like Guillaume said. You know, easy, straightforward, white devil god. We're going after him.
This Baron Martell, now, he seems like a good candidate for possibly burning. So, you know, had that to look forward to.
The mangrove trees begin to give way, surprisingly, to these large deciduous trees, where you can see their branches kind of spread outward like great fingers over the path, and their broad leaves create great shade from the heat, although the sweltering in the swamp can still be felt. And you see fallen apples along the trail, sour, rotten, buzzing with gnats and flies. Nothing that would be edible by any means. But you can see that this apple tree trail kind of winds its way through the swamp until it terminates beside a lake. And it winds along the edge of the lake until you can see in the distance this small, ramshackle collection of hovels. Would be the best way to describe it. These stone homes that are with thatch and straw on top. And near the water, you see, at a distance from here, a woman with a bucket up to her knees in the water, picking through the muck and the mud, kind of pulling out snails and putting them inside the bucket. She doesn't notice that you're here by any means.
You want to broach conversation?
No, let's just wait and see what
I'm
happens.
not a people person. That's gonna be Tom on you.
Yeah, I'm worried I'll scare her.
She's clearly in what was referred to in Beatrix's stories as the pond, which is a massive lake.
Gotcha.
Is this a shade tree here next to the lake?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'll stand under that for a while. Wait until she notices me. If it's only a few minutes, like 5 minutes or so.
Maybe it's because they're so isolated here. But she goes about her business without looking over her shoulder, and eventually she kind of takes her bucket and fills it up with water or whatever else she's been plucking out of the muck, and she kind of walks to the shore and the lake and begins walking down the trail away from a lot of you. Unseeing, unknowing of your presence.
I noticed all the apples have flies and stuff, and I kind of investigate a little further to see if there's any bees.
Those rotten apples. But
No
you imagine that probably that there's an apiarist here. I mean, where there's flowers and where there's flowering trees, there are typically bees.
There actually has to be bees, or there wouldn't be apples.
That's correct.
Could
There's a lesson to be-
This guy doesn't.
There's a
know
lesson
that.
to be learned here about the death of bees in the United States, but we won't go there. But yes, that is very true. There you would, without a doubt, those who have spent time in the wilds or in any city would know that where there are apple trees, there is always honey to be had.
Would I be able to perhaps investigate the apples a little closer, see if there's just naturally falling from the trees that time of year, or
It's that time of the year.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's rotten.
Perfect.
They probably harvested everything that was edible.
Actually worth it. Yeah.
The trees do not grow, and the trees don't seem to grow in a way that they have been planted in a linear way. They just seem to sprout up all over.
Gotcha.
But all the underbrush has been cut away. The vines and the mangrove trees that stretch out of the water have been hacked back.
So it's cultured. It's just not arranged.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
But it's clear though that judging by the number of vines that stretch out of the water, the mangrove trees probably grow virulent and quickly here. Some of these vines are actually on the path.
Gotcha.
Okay, well, I suppose we should head into the city. Don't want to spook anyone.
How far away is she from us?
Maybe 100 yards or so.
I'm gonna make a gentle call to get her attention and try not to spook her.
Okay. She kind of stops for a moment, and she looks over her shoulder. You can see that she's wearing this kind of rough spun wool hood that's kind of rough along the edges. You can't quite see her face from here, but she hikes up her skirts and takes the bucket and starts running at top speed away from you, down toward the collection of hovels. You can hear this kind of faint cry. You can hear she's saying something in the cry.
Outsiders, probably.
Yeah. Hey, boss, we should probably leave Bastion, the rest of Bastion, someplace safe. Yeah.
Well, Bastion's not here.
No,
Oh,
they're
thank you.
they're halfway
They had,
away,
they
yeah.
had to be. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they stayed at the crossroads.
Thanks.
But she's screaming something.
They're
I'm
back at the
scared.
crossroads.
Is it?
Are they?
Is it possible? It's not possible to make out what she's crying.
Roll an eavesdrop test. This
Oh,
test
wow.
is routine.
Now what?
Eavesdrop. All right. Perception. Oh, that's not good. Routine
this.
though. Hey, that's good. Yeah,
She's screaming, "Apple goblins! Apple goblins! They're here! They're here!"
that place.
Amazing.
Yeah.
okay. So I'm gonna.
Will you let the others know?
Oh yeah. I I believe she's calling us apple goblins.
Well, since I'm super nimble in these trains because I've been all this, I'm gonna book it towards her.
You're 100 yards away.
100 yards.
That will be an arduous athletics test.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she begins running running down the trail. She holds Widowmaker and like begins ducking, running down the trail.
That's where I'm at. Like,
Oh no!
100 yards while way
Blue-
down with
blue
all that
is
gear.
first.
I'm just like looking between Tomas.
One!
You rolled a critical success. Oh my god!
Wait, 0-1.
Yeah.
Arduous
0-1.
test. All right. You win.
That's amazing.
Hey,
Yeah.
That's
the
amazing.
best answer to know is yes, but.
Yes,
It's like,
but.
yeah, you can try. It's arduous. So you see Aspillicent
I book it.
book it down the road, and she's moving as fast as you've probably ever seen her. Her long legs kind of sprawling.
Yeah, you don't know how
Like a
tall I am
gazelle.
because
Yeah.
I'm always like hunched.
She's always
Just
hunched over.
mud
She
kicking.
kind of unfolds and just. Because she has
Holy
kind of a strange gait.
Yeah,
Because
I'm not
her
human.
knees don't quite bend the same way as yours.
I
They
ain't
bend
human.
backwards, not forward. But you never noticed that before until she started running. And
I'm
what do you
cool.
do when you're beside her? What are you gonna do?
I'm just gonna go up and just knowing that I have kind of a scary look to myself,
Uh-huh.
and I heard you say the apple goblins. I'm gonna try to just say, friend.
Oh, so you want to try to? Oh,
I
okay.
want to
so-
try to calm her.
Yeah, that's good. So I think because you rolled a crit success, that you could probably accomplish this.
Yeah.
So she stops, and like the bucket goes rolling with all these snails rolling out across the earth, and she looks kind of wide-eyed. And she's this kind of pale-faced, paunchy-looking woman with pockmarks around her nose, like acne, and she kind of stops. She's like afraid. She's kind of backed away and falls over onto her onto her body,
Haunches.
or bottom, and you kind of Fred, you kind of stop, and she kind of pauses, and she says, "We have not seen anyone for a very long time here." She kind of takes the bucket kind of to her side, like as if to protect herself with it, but I don't think it's gonna do much. It's a wooden bucket.
So there's one bucket,
Yeah.
and she dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna very like friend, and I'm gonna scoop up some of her snails and put them back in her bucket and kind of back off and say, friends, and I'm gonna point at everyone else.
Way back there.
At some point, you catch up with the two of them on the side.
Football field away.
Yeah. As they are as
Be here in 10 minutes.
as you catch up, they've kind of gotten all the snails back in the bucket, and the woman's kind of standing there, and you can tell that she's a little bit afraid. She's not shivering and trembling in fear, but you can tell by her body language that she's very, very cautious, and she's, we have not seen anyone here for a very long time. Where did you come from?
Bastion.
She kind of arches her brow. I think you need to talk to the Baron Martel.
We would like that.
So he still lives.
We.
Okay,
Excellent.
let's talk to him then.
Can you take us to him?
We. She nods her head.
I
She almost
offer-
like she's almost exhaling breath. You're not sure if she's actually just breathing hard or if it's a word, but she seems to nod an affirmation when she says the word.
I offer to carry her bucket for her, for startling her.
Oh no! I have this bucket. It's fine. She holds it closely to her chest as you kind of surround her. Is that what you want to do?
No.
No.
I mean,
Let's
I'll
not
stay, I'll
surround
stay as far back as
Yeah.
it's possible to see him unthreatened.
Yep.
Less of a threat.
Since I charged
Since we're all
her,
armored and
Yeah.
Yeah.
since I charged her,
With a 0-1.
That was so cool.
since I'm the one that charged her, I'm trying to stay with her, but give her distance so that she knows
Yeah.
I'm a friend, but not
Yeah.
encroach on her.
So you begin walking into this hovel. It's literally a collection of maybe 20 or so buildings arranged kind of in a concentric circle around this mud field. And there's nobody out here except for her and another person, another woman who looks very, very plump. And she's wearing this kind of bonnet around her hair, and she kind of leans out the window. Oh, oui! And she closes the shutters to the doors, or to the window, as she heads inside what looks like the largest hovel here, a 2-story hovel, in fact. That's kind of lopsided, almost like the village almost feels like sodden. Feels like it's almost threatening to slip into the lake or the pond. Now the ground here is very uneven. The buildings aren't quite level, and the muck sucks at your boots, even here in the village.
I would
It's precariously close to the side of the lake. In fact, you see some buildings on stilts.
I would like to ask the woman if I could. I'm assuming, is that where the Baron and his matron live? The plump woman?
Oui, it's my mama.
Oh, okay, so you're the Baron's daughter.
She kind of nods, kind of averting her eyes at this point.
So there's only 10 others who live here?
That's what the sign says.
Quatre vendu, 13, she
Yes.
says, trying to find the words.
Cats man do what?
There are 13 here.
Oh, 13, yeah. 13.
She's trying to find the appropriate word. She clearly doesn't speak the common tongue of all. She seems to speak a different language.
Do we recognize by her accent what language she might be speaking? Or she might be her, what do you call it, native tongue?
It sounds very strange. You've never heard this language before.
Okay.
No, none of you have heard it, in fact.
It is a remarkable accent. What is your native tongue? What is your first language?
Sotanite.
Sultanites.
And does
No,
everyone?
no, it's Sardonite.
Sardin. Oh, so only 13 souls would maybe speak your language.
I don't know how to answer that question. What is this? You hear a man say as he steps outside of the door. He's an even plumper fellow who looks like he's eaten very well. In fact, he has what looks like the remnants of pie in his beard. As he steps out, his beard kind of rings his face almost like the mane of a lion. And he has these big, broad shoulders. And he's fairly well dressed, given the fact that this village looks like it's in abject poverty. He has these big, heavy brown boots that have been freshly polished. Not a speck of mud on this man, at least until he steps into the thoroughfare. He has this short little cropped yellow mantle over his shoulders, perhaps as a symbol of his office. What is this? You what? Oh my goodness. We have not seen people here for many, many years. Why are you here in Southern?
Good morrow to you, as I offer my hand.
Oui, forgive my manners. I am the Baron Bartel.
I know. I've heard of you.
Where do you hail from? What kingdom, what barony?
Come from... Was it east? Yeah, we come from the east. The Forgotten City. The Unnamed City.
Oh, the cities outside of Southern Empire are forgotten. What lord do you serve? I see not your livery.
I'm the Lord.
Oh, forgive me, Lord.
Thomas Laurent.
Lord Thomas Laurent. A pleasure exquisite.
As I give myself a bow as well.
This is my lady Gertrude. He motions toward the window where his wife is looking outside the windowsill. And this is the Baronet Gretel. She kind of gives a slight curtsy.
Thomas removes his helmet.
Forgive my manners. I am so sorry. We have not seen so many people here before. Is this your people?
Yes.
Yes.
If you are a lord then, Lord Thomas, then I shall welcome you into my barony. Come inside. Shall have something to eat and we can speak more.
Thank you.
You step inside this two-story hovel, and it's very, very crowded with furniture. Benches, cupboards. It looks like it's actually just his house. As you're literally in what would serve as a living room, for lack of a better term. But at least you leave the heat away from outside. And it actually feels semi-cool in here because it's actually kind of a little bit beneath the earth. There's kind of an earthy smell down here. You see a few people kind of wandering around, kind of sweeping the wooden floor. Like this place actually has like a servant. And the servant looks a little strange. Just one eye that's just a little bit too far on the side of his head. Like he's got not only is it a lazy eye, it's a little bit too far on the side of his head, and he kind of averts his eyes as he continues sweeping.
Like the actual socket.
Yes, the socket is moved. Hey, get gone. I am here with Lord Thomas. Bring us something to eat and to drink. Do you like apples?
I like apples.
We have all manner of cider here, apple pie.
Cider sounds refreshing.
I've had an apple in quite some time.
My daughter Gretel also makes creamed ice for the apple pie.
Ice? How do you get ice here?
Creamed ice.
We keep it in the cellars beneath the ground, you see.
Lots of salt.
Okay.
Wait, sit at my table, please. And you sit at a table that's no larger than this, and he's sitting at the head of it. And he's got this, not even a fancy chair, but you all have stools, but his chair has a back. Your chairs have a stool.
King of the cast.
You do this. He strokes his beard, and he has a magnificent beard. It's just bristly and sticks straight out, like great whiskers, like this kind of swoops up, and he kind of rubs it. He says, "You caught me in the middle of my afternoon meal. I am ashamed. Perhaps I missed your messenger. We not see many people. Maybe he went to Poil. Nobody there. He says. Did you send the messenger?
A messenger sent in these times would be quite dangerous. It's not safe to travel alone on these roads. I'm sure you know this.
Oui, the swamps. Very dangerous this time of season.
I look at Toma and go,
We travel in numbers for safety. We didn't mean to frighten you with our presence, but
Oh, no,
such
Lord
things are
Toma, you
such
don't cause
things
any
are-
No,
such things are necessary.
you are not putting us out by any means. My daughter, she did not know you were a lord, and we did not know to expect you. So now we see you, you're expected.
I say, does he know? And I send it to Toma because I wonder if he knows about what's going on.
I was actually going to ask as well, if possible.
But I didn't want to just outright ask because I feel like it's a sensitive topic to spring on somebody who might not know.
Right.
So I kind of just sent my little dude to
So
Toma.
you
I was gonna. Yeah. Would I be able to tell if he's actually like? Because you say that there's like physical changes after each passing. Would I be able to see any of those potential signs on the Baron at this point?
Well, the problem is
Certainly
that those
plump.
signs are all different for everyone. They've manifested differently for all of you.
you respond with a bigger beard.
True.
Yeah.
Oh, that could be it. Some people really look out.
The plump chairbook woman, who clearly is the Baroness, as he called her, Baroness Greta, will serve up Greta will serve up apple pie and creamed ice.
So have you?
Thank you.
If
She demurs, saying nothing, but it is no problem. You are in the service of a baron. I shall treat you as my own.
from one lord to another, you said you hadn't heard much from. You don't get travelers much from the outside. Would you like to hear the latest news that we've gathered on our travels?
Oh, well, you see, it is great to receive travelers for certain. Are you going to Ghent? He changes the subject.
It's hard to say where my travels will next take us. We thought perhaps we could gather information from you on the lands ahead, the lands to the west of here.
What? I can speak nothing to the lands of the west, but if you need to know about the lands around the pond, I can tell you all about this place. We've been here for generations.
We read some of the history of this area.
Boy.
We heard about. I don't want to broach sensitive topics, but we heard about across the pond, oil.
Oh yes,
Or was it? Yeah, oil. Yeah.
a very, very sad story. What happened there? Rosaline was my cousin. What happened to her was it was a tragedy, for certain. How did you come to know of this?
Well, as you travel about, you come upon all sorts of tomes and writings that tell of other travelers' journeys, and
Oui.
we like to stay informed of what we come to expect on our journey ahead, for safety reasons again.
Oui.
So we read a little bit about some of the things happening in the past year. The writings even mentioned yourself.
Oh, they did.
Yes.
Well, on any road, what happened is in the past. Some 2 years back, this all happened, and it is all water underneath the muck now. Yeah.
I'm
say so.
interrupt. I'm sorry. Is there any more of this wonderful pie and iced cream?
I've creamed ice, of course. Gertrude, get him more to eat.
Immediately devoured it all.
So,
Not touching the button.
Lord Thomas, you come to my lands. I shall treat you while you are here. You can stay in my home while you do what you need to do here. Perhaps we could speak more. We could share a pipe when the sun sets.
Sounds lovely.
Would it be all right if we just managed to venture around Sodden a little bit, just get the lay of the land.
Oh yes, yes, but do be careful. Stay among the elms, among the apple trees. That is, and don't go wandering across the pond now. Okay?
We heard
Of course.
story tell of a witch in these woods. Is that what you're warning of us of?
Still witches, warlocks. We can talk about that when the sun sets. Enjoy your pie and cream dice. Enjoy your time here. We get to business later. Right now we enjoy our time together.
Ghost stories are better when the sun is down. I get it.
All right. Tell me, what of your lands? Tell me, do you have a castle like this?
This is a beautiful.
We have a stronghold. It's hard to describe. I guess in these times we're searching for something. We have purpose, and that leads us to the road. So home is where we make it.
I see.
Home is our people.
And you have 2 man-at-arms.
Yes, among others. We didn't bring our whole contingent with us. We the swamp here is not very conducive to wagons.
I see. These are lean times. After what happened in the pond, we are left but with 1 man-at-arm. You see, and he is not well. But serious matters for when the sun sets.
Okay.
I don't need to bog down the conversation.
Ba-dum-bum.
So you share some kind of back and forth, and he's jovial as possibly can be, but you can sense that there is a worry as he furrows his brows, as he seems to be kind of lost in a trail. Thought every once in a while kind of circles back around, but always keeps the conversation as light as possible.
Okay. Yeah.
Until you excuse yourselves from his home and kind of make your way out into the village itself proper.
I'm a little not suspiriancy, but sus about his excitedness to after the sun sets. Something doesn't set right with me.
I would agree with that assessment entirely.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have a whole lot of experience at being a lord quite yet, but I know hospitality tends to be pleasure before business, so I don't read too much into it. I would, hesitate to pass strong judgment against him. He seems a nice sort, and based on the information that we have thus far, I don't think we have that much to worry about yet.
All right, my Widowmaker is ready.
Yes.
Do we see anyone else? That was 1, 2, 3, 4 people within that helm. So do we see anybody else milling about at the other 9 then?
Well, again, don't pass judgment. It is the working day. The daylight's going. Perhaps they're fishing.
Thomas, we did just see the baronet fishing for snails at the edge of a pond.
Mm-hmm.
Or edge of a massive lake. So I don't know what the working folk might be doing, but I would imagine they might be out and about.
Could be.
You all had mentioned during this passing that the sorry, I had a thought. Sugars. You mentioned during the passing that there's the changes you. This accounts for this. Yes. The manservant had his eye was a bit off, and I wonder perhaps if
We've seen it do a lot of things like that.
Could be.
That's a good point.
Could be. This place is pretty remote. I'm not trying to pass judgment on how people make their relations and such, but
I mean, like
families may be quite tight knit around here.
I mean, like slaughtering the village next door to you.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
that's also
Generations of tight knit.
we're not passing
The
judgment.
Lord did mention he had
No
kin
judgment.
there on the other side of the pond.
Rosalie.
I just thought more of his attitude towards
Rosalind's the
his
one who started the war, guys. You gotta remember the story.
seemed more aggressive, very aggressive towards his servant, and I wonder, well, if this was a man who wouldn't treat his servants well, perhaps I don't know this man.
Could be. Not every lord is as magnanimous as me.
Did you do this afterwards?
The magnanimity.
Though he did have pie.
Who knows? Maybe his servant gets pie too.
I was actually going to ask that. He was like wolfing it down then. Whenever we were in there. Okay.
I was definitely wolfing that.
Yeah, he was more so as just thinking.
Was
that,
he like as the Baron?
Oh,
Yeah, the Baron was just hammering it. Okay, that's what I was making sure.
How do you feel?
More so as
jittery.
It's a lot of sugar for not having eaten for many years.
That is true. That is very true.
Well, what do we want to do? Do we want to try and find other people to speak with, like Holmes' kind of suggestion? Do we want to wait out till sunset and you and the old Baron break bread, or?
I say we fritter the day away. If you wanna try to talk with the locals, that's fine. But I kind of want to get the lay of the land around here. Take a look around, see what there is to see. Taking the sights of
Before the sun sets.
this emotions around this collection of houses.
Yeah, before the sun sets, let's get an idea of what we have here. Because once the sun sets, I don't know what's going to happen, and I need to be ready.
I'm curious about that man-at-arms. So that the one that the town has isn't doing quite well. And if there's a concern, I believe there's mention of the concern of something happening. I'd be interested to see what this man, what we may be up against if things were to turn unfortunate.
He mentioned he had one man-at-arms.
Yes.
And if we're to believe this sign saying the village has 13 souls, then perhaps we may not be in as much danger as you think.
Look, unless these folks are were-panthers, we'll walk through these people.
You never know.
Let's just face the facts.
That's what I'm getting at.
Really glad
We're
you're
in
right.
a war here.
Well, it's just this small town people nervousness.
I send my Ren to Pip. And I'm like,
Pip can do nothing because she's not here.
well, I know, but I'm just gonna say, oh boy, I don't know. And I just whisper to Pip, because I'm just super unsure.
Well, what can we do?
One would think that the man-at-arms has actually been over to Poyle, would actually have that information and might be willing to speak to us a little bit more liberally than our good Baron would be before nightfall. And again, I'm kind of with you on that.
No, let's do it then. Let's go find this man-at-arms. I'm pretty sure he won't be out fishing, right?
Should be a fairly stationary target, yeah.
Thank you, you called him a target.
I'm an investigator, what do you want?
So you want to start knocking on doors?
Let's
Peering
look
through windows or portals, whatever they would, holes.
Holes in the earth where they live, these hobbits?
I mean, do we see anybody right now where we're at?
No.
Not a soul.
No.
there
Not even a
any
young
things
girl
we
who
have?
was snail fishing or snail plucking earlier.
Is there any sign postages or anything like that?
God, goodness,
Man-at-arms house.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
No. There's the village. The village looks. If there were 13 souls
I was
living
being
here,
rude.
there are too many homes for 13 souls to be living
Right.
here. This is like they're living in the shadow of a place that once flourished, in the sense that a village would flourish. You can see
Looks like Detroit.
there's an old abandoned windmill on top of the hill. There's a water mill near the edge of the pond. You can see fishing boats overturned in the muck. You can see fishing nets that have been drugged to ground, along with some baskets and buckets. But other than that, not a soul to be seen here.
But no one's fishing.
Okay, well, I don't want to knock on random stranger doors. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Let's.
I'm just
let's-
gonna get the lay of the
Yeah.
land, so to speak, and if I have any extra time, I'll find a nice tree and fish the pond.
Yeah,
Plenty of bait and tackle around here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of go scout around. I'd like someone to go with me though.
As you're kind of walking along the edges of the pond, you can see far across the lake a distant shore where you can see a building but it's way across the lake. You couldn't walk to it,
Are you sure?
but you could take a boat to it if you wish to do so. No, that is literally impossible.
No, I know.
You could, however, take a boat to it if you chose to do so. The sun has begun to bleed into the horizon.
Does it look like it'd be quicker by boat than it would be by walking?
Well, the lake kind of spans until it stretches into the swamp, and you're not really sure where the swamp and the lake terminate.
Got
It kind of blends into the horizon. It's a big lake. Imagine like Lake of the Ozarks. It kind of meanders along the edge and kind of bleeds into the forest.
Judging by
Lake Pontchartrain, if you've ever been north of New Orleans.
Yeah.
the approximate distance between us and this building that we see, if we did take a boat,
Half a mile.
would we reasonably be able to make it back before sundown?
Well, it is now sundown.
Oh, it is not.
Yeah, the sun is bleeding into the horizon.
Okay,
It is now near
Do they
sundown.
catch any fish?
Well, we
Sure. Yeah.
okay.
There's the lake seems to be jumping with fish, like big long stir pike.
Oh.
These slender silver, very narrow, thin fish with these spines on their back and these vicious teeth.
Guard.
Would I be able to Yar. Would I be able to go over to the boats and the nets just to investigate, like, how, being able to determine when was the last time they were used, what kind of repair they are, that type of thing?
Well,
this-
the boats appear to be in relatively healthy shape. Now, they're certainly not wet by any means, but you can see boot prints around the boat where they've been drugged ashore.
Okay, so it's all fairly recent then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Were you doing anything in particular, Tim?
I was just gonna fish with you.
Okay.
I'm just scouting
I
with
mean,
you.
honestly,
we'll bring back-
pay fishing.
We'll bring back the catch of the day.
We'll scout. Yeah.
Stand with both of you, but I will not be fishing.
Yeah, watch your
None-
backs. It's a good idea.
None come back to call. None come back to Sodden to call when the sun sets. By the time that night falls, it grows very silent in all of Sodden here.
What kind of silence? Like no bugs, no.
Well, no, of course. You're
Okay.
beside a swamp. I mean, it's
Okay.
noise
I
isn't
just
like
didn't know. I just
the
didn't know
sounds
what
of
kind
civilization.
silence.
That would be weird.
There's no
I got you.
striking of iron against stone.
Right. Okay.
There's no laughter coming from beyond. There's no candles on the windowsills. There's no smoke pouring forth from the chimneys to indicate anybody's cooking.
There's no,
Save
there's no
for
death bell ringing all the time.
yeah, save for Baron Martell's home, his two-story home that seems to be sinking into the mud.
Should we go offer some fish to
We'll
Baron?
return with the catch of the day and offer him what we have.
I'd like mine raw.
Okay.
Oh, bonjour, he says as you approach. It is a wonderful night. The air is nice and cool around here. Yes?
Good evening to you.
Oui, it seems like you have been fishing the pond.
Quite a relaxing afternoon.
It's
Very
a-
nice beneath the tree.
It's a good thing that you are a lordess. You pay the Baron's tax for every fish you fish at the pond.
It was a gift for you. I figured we could share it for dinner.
Oh, yes. The stir pack of poison. It's a word we use for fish. Cook it open face on the fire, my wife will do. Well, come in. We have a conversation, we talk. We have some dinner, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you say fish again?
Poisson.
Poisson. Poisson.
Poisson.
That is a lovely accent. Your daughter Gretel told us she speaks Sardinite, is that right?
We, all of here around the pond, we grew up learning this language. We people of Sudan call ourselves Sudanite. So we, I suppose that our language we have been taught since we are very small.
They do not. Did they speak at any point over at Poyle? Was that one of those things? Or?
They kind of talk their own gobbledygook.
Interesting. Okay.
Oui.
Yeah.
They used what you say, a stunted version of Sultanite, but that's you're not allowed to hear it there. No, we are taught this language at a very young time, not from writing, but from the mothers, the frog wives, and they pass it along, and that's how we speak. That's how we keep the culture, and we pass on what we know.
What is it? What is a frog wife? You said.
Oh yes, Best, I say, the women who are blessed by the water.
I point at the fish and I go, one raw, please. Before she starts cooking it.
I will not eat it raw. See, I show you something. Come here to me. You look at the back of this fish right here. This black pustule that runs from head to tail. It is filled with all the merd that the fish eat. You want to eat merd? No, I think not. You eat it the Southernite way. You take apples underneath. He puts apples in, and fennel. He puts fennel.
Does mare mean shit?
Yes, what the pig give manure.
Oh shit.
Yeah, human call it mare, as we constitutional and morning. He invites you to this table.
I'll eat apple fish.
He leaves the windows and doors open to let the cool night air inside, and you can hear the sounds of the swamp outside. Well, that was good. You finish being to finish dinner.
Where's the rest of the pod? Sub night?
This, yes, your gentry. Yeah.
I forgot to tell you, Lord Thomas. He changes the topic. We have a special guest tonight.
Indeed.
Wait. There is a cobbler, his name Fitzroy. He talk like you. He is clearly from the east as well. He is coming to visit tonight.
Oh.
Very sad affair. He heard that you were coming into Southern, so I invite him here to meet after we have our meal, our Lord's meal. And he will join us at the small table.
Perhaps he can waterproof my boots.
Hackathons! We shall eat the small table outside. Come with me, come with me.
Yes, yes.
He will stoke a fire outside. He will pitch a fire, and it will softly kindle. It is literally like, imagine like you're at a bonfire party.
Yeah.
This is kind of what it's like.
I'll light up a pipe and take a few
Yeah.
tokes and offer it to him as
This particular cobbler, was he a transplant here in Sodden, or does he just pass through occasionally?
Well, he's been there since I have been for a while, but the previous Baron, he was a guest, and he stay here for some time, so he saw the night as much as anybody else. Ah, the fire. You see why we built the fire so large?
I'm on alert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard.
You know why you built the fire so large in the swamp?
well. To keep the mosquitoes out of you.
It's right. They want to suck your blood. They come out of here and there in the darkness and they try to eat you.
Believe me, they're coming at me all day long.
I kind of move out of the firelight.
Don't do that. They get too close to the water at night where the breeding ground and the mosquito, and it make you very, very sick, I assure you.
Oh, is that what happened to the man-at-arms? All right. Little of this, little of that.
I'm kind of keeping to the absolute edge,
Sure.
and I'm on fleek.
You'd mentioned once sundown hit that we would speak business.
Oh, we. It is why I invited Fitzroy here.
So we're waiting for Fitzroy.
Oh, yes. He'll be here soon. He puts his thumbs in his belt and he kind of loosens it a few notches as he lets his belly hang out as he ate quite a bit of fish and pie tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You could feel your stomachs like girding against the amount of food that they put on the table.
Yeah, I can tell he's kind of. I have a feeling that he's trying to stall for time, and I'm kind of placating him to a degree. So I'm not arguing with the fact that he's, waiting for this person that may never come. But I'll let the night kind of while away. I know some of you may not appreciate that, and you can go your own way, but that's kind of my.
Oh, I like to imagine that you catch your eye or something, and you kind of give me that look of like no need. And
Yeah.
I'm just doing as the Lords do,
And I'm completely hairs standing up on the back of my neck. style.
I'm not trying to shut
That
down.
is-
I'm not trying to shut down anyone
no,
else
no,
doing
no.
whatever they want.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I'm doing.
Yes.
Tiberius is taking
So-
your lead because he hasn't been around people for quite a long time.
Yeah.
So he's stumbling over what should or could or would be
Yeah.
said.
So obviously the lords get to sleep in there. Where do I sleep? Because
Hey.
that's more food than I've had in a long time.
I have already arranged for someone place to stay. I have a home. A home you can stay in, all of you, including the Lord's room, and a very comfortable place to stay for the night. If you have trappings, I shall have my daughter install them, if you like.
What?
If you have trappings, I shall have my daughter install them if you like into the home.
No, I don't need a woman to carry my stuff. That sounds very.
Oh, she's a small girl. Just she would not mind. Paul. You saw her this morning.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, this seems very ungentlemanlike to have somebody, a small woman.
Oh, what the? I do not know your ways of the East, so forgive me if I have offended. I am so
No
sorry.
offense
1,000
there.
pardons.
You're the Baron. I'm just the man at arms.
I have a sort of an odd question for you.
Oh.
On the subject of your beautiful town here. The
We
sign.
do.
What? My apologies.
We may.
Your barony. The sign read 13 souls. What an interesting choice of words.
It's a language barrier. That's what we're gonna do.
The comings and goings of people in Southern have been rife with conflict. It's a gift to live as we do, with what little we are given. We make the best of what is due.
That was answered
The
well.
biggest meal I've had in
It's
2 years.
the food is very good. I haven't had apples.
I said,
We are
I sent
afforded
my
the
ring.
bounty of the earth here in Southern. I am the inheritor of almost 400 acres of apples as far as the eye could see. If you look out this way, out beyond the village, you can see it extends deeply into the wood, deep across into the swamp. But do not go there, I urge.
That makes
Stay near
sense.
the apple trees.
Do not go beyond the apple trees on the Applewood Trail.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Why?
what the trail is called.
Well, you don't know the way around here, and you don't have lights, so torch only burn for an hour.
This is a good.
Besides, the swamps are very deep, and you never know. Sometimes you step into you think the ground is firm, and you step whoop right into the peat bog. Don't go puddle jumping without puddle jumper. Not knowing a person knows the swamp, you have to frog the ground. You see.
Frog the ground.
Oui. Rangers here in Southern know the swamps very well. My man, Gerd Attalard, he knows the swamps very well.
Perhaps we could hire your man to, help us on the journey ahead.
Oh, unfortunately, I must let you know that Gerd Attalard is recovering from a mortal injury.
Would this be your man at arms?
Oui, yes.
What injured him so?
He was going where he was supposed to go.
Had a bit too much apple brandy, I think.
Maybe so, yes. Either way, we are nursing his wounds with plenty of apple cider, letting them eat on his own, a frog wife tending to him. And, oh, look, there's Fitzroy, he says, smiling, kind of waving his hand outward. And you see this jaunty-looking gentleman who looks like he doesn't belong here as much as a lot of you either. His clothes are colorful, but you can see there's mud on his boots. He has this long kind of red mustache that's twisted up. He looks kind of like you imagine like a safari person, like a safari person in the medieval world.
He's on a walkabout.
He has a walking stick. His beard's kind of red and gray. He looks a little like Sean Connery.
Mm-hmm.
He's wearing a monocle. He's not wearing a monocle, but he has a monocle stuck in his
wearing a
pocket.
monocle. You
He has
know
a little vest. He's rolled the
It's hidden
sleeves up.
away.
This linen shirt. He's rolled the sleeves up, but you can tell this man's very worldly because his skin is tan from the years he spent out in the sun. He has long crow's feet around his eyes, laugh lines, and deep furrows in his brow. His pate has begun to bald, where the hair grows thin, but he looks jolly and jovial. "Ah, good sirs, good evening, indeed.
Good evening.
What a sight to see! Outsiders in Sodden.
Yes, how long has it been since the last visitors you had?
Well, it has been quite some time for sure. 1 second here.
That was his face.
Sorry.
It's like, oh, we got another lord here.
Do I find I don't know, like
Swimming in lore.
based
All
on
13 of them.
what I've gathered so far of this town's mannerisms and such, do I find it odd that the Baron didn't introduce us to this new person?
Roll a scrutinize test. Actually, I'm sorry. Roll a folklore test.
Folklore.
Make this standard.
Good.
Yeah.
Folklore is intelligence. 54% chance to succeed. No, I did not succeed.
You know, being in a place like this, you don't really know what to expect. This is, in fact, this whole place is kind of unexpected anyway.
I am a little, also I'm low-born stock, and I don't, my manners are not my strong suit, to be honest.
My good word, I can't believe there's others here. Name's Fitzroy. He shakes your hand vigorously. Everybody's hand.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes. He will get close and shake your hands and firm grip, Lord Tolwa.
Thank you.
So, cobbler, right?
Cobbler, purveyor of curiosities. Yes, all those things. The stories are true.
How you keep your boots? You got better boots for this? Whatever we're calling this place.
To live in the swamp, you see, requires more than just a simple shoe. If one is to live among the pond and the people of Sodden, one must have a firm set of boots, deep treads, thick heel, one that'll bend and flex when needed, but also sturdy enough to withstand the rigors of the road. I am indeed a cobbler, but not by trade, but by choice, I suppose you could say.
So,
A hobbyist.
you have boots that'll work around this place or not? There's
I
a
have-
lot for.
I have been known to make fine boots, yes. I have given some of my finest pair to Lord Martell,
We'd
to
pay,
his daughter and wife, lady wife.
We'd pay good coin for such things if you'd take our business.
Well, if you plan to spend some time here in Sodden, I suppose, then maybe we can talk business at some point. And in fact, say, do you take snuff?
Certainly.
He pulls out a little metal tin and slides it open and gives you a pinch.
It's an interesting, interesting
Take a bump.
hobby.
I'll take a bone.
Cobbling. How long have you been dabbling in?
In
Probably.
Sodden, well, I've spent the last, I should say, about 2 years here now. At the end of the skirmish, you see, I found myself here, and something about this place, I just,
Oh,
there's a charm to Sodden.
I'm sorry. My question for you was, how long have you been cobbling? Because you mentioned that that's a hobby. That's an interesting
Here and
hobby.
there, my father was a cobbler. He recovers that story fairly quickly. My father was a cobbler, and I took it up as a hobby trade, but I have discovered there is a fine leather that can only be cured in a specific way in a temperate zone such as this. That's the uniqueness of Sodden. 'Tis not the leather itself, but the aromatics of the air, the ether here just is different, you know?
What kind of leather?
I'm sorry?
What kind of leather?
Oh, pig's hide, of course.
Of course. Yes.
You don't use vintage water panther?
None of those around here.
Oh, that's good to know.
Really?
Indeed. Snakes and the sort, of course, to be found in the swamps, but those are the least of dangers to find on the road beyond the apple tree trail.
Yeah,
Regale us with such tales
But
of
above board,
what.
Didn't we see some when we were entering the swamp? I thought we did. Okay, sorry.
Regale us of such tales of the perils of the road that you know of.
Well, I myself, a humble itinerant traveler, have chosen to become sedentary here in Sodden. In my younger days, he taps his staff, I would have blazed the trail from the Teeth to Ghent, this way and that, nearly 300 leagues from shore to cliff. Now, those days have passed. As you can tell, I am long in the teeth, as they say. But as for these days, I spend my time cobbling and purveying curiosities. With what few travelers have passed through here, but I consider myself a collector of sort.
So you know not of the outside world, the news, of what has been going on in this land.
What is there to know? We have ample pie and fish and food and good company, warm fire, the pond, stir pike.
A coming danger heads towards this land.
Oh, a danger indeed.
Yes.
What sort of curiosities do you collect?
All manner of things. Baubles I have procured in my travels, idols of forgotten gods, papers and scriptures of religions banned from this world. In my times before I came here, I was an antiquarian. You see?
Have you seen something such as this? And I pull something out of my pocket and hand it to him.
Ha!
It's a soma.
Yeah, he. Of course, I've seen this before. He kind of nudges you in the side. I've seen this, of course, before. Yes, yes. Maybe we can talk about that in my shop at some point, but no less. Lord Tomar and company, how do you find yourselves here in Solid?
Well, we traveled from the east. Far, far, far away in the Forgotten City.
We've seen the teeth.
Many leagues.
We're seeking which?
The Algo rises beyond the teeth every morning from beyond to the east. Her great rays warm all lands into the west. To Ghent she settles. All roads lead to Ghent, but all roads lead to the teeth as well. If you follow the path of Algo, of course. If you are, if you know much about the celestial halls.
Can't say that I do.
No?
We are in the season of Ember. He motions toward the Vault of Stars.
Well, yeah, we know we're in the season of Ember.
Yeah, it's hot.
It's hot as hell.
'Tis indeed. Look to the Vault of Night. Look to the martyr's tears. See her rings that surround our world. Beyond the mirror, a vast darkness. But we know of our world, of this place, of Maholma, the material plane. We know that the sun comes from the east and sets in the west. I suppose that is why all maps in Galleon run east-west. What else would be unnatural to go north-south, I suppose?
Certainly.
Or west-east?
Okay. It's also just hot.
Indeed.
It's an easy way to know when Embers is here.
He pulls his hat off. Indeed, the season of ash is over, and it is rather balmy, but later in the evening it comes, the cold urge shall be, and eventually you will bring your shutters shut. Or you'll bring the curtains shut as the chill shall wash across you. You'll be thankful for the heat in the morning.
Guillaume is going to start chewing on some mandrake root while this entire conversation's going on, and he is just zoned in on the Baron and wants to functionally figure out what is the dynamic of this relationship between him and the cobbler. Is this kind of like a hostage situation? Is this like clearly you guys are running a scandal type of thing? Is this like you need to play the part whenever any of this happens? Are we both guilty of the same thing and therefore it's mutually assured destruction if one of us like gives up the ghost here? I'm just trying to figure out what the actual dynamic of this is.
Okay, it's alright. So chew on your mandrake root and gain 1 corruption.
Yup.
I shall take that mandrake root. And I should take the mandrake.
I'm out of mandrake root.
Get +1 pure peril threshold for an hour.
And a little poison for my true
Yeah,
detective
so-
is what I'm
right.
shooting for.
So,
Probably should have said that out loud. Yeah, I'm shooting for the
okay.
true detective. Just trying to figure out that dynamic.
yeah. So, as you Prepare to do that one moment.
Okay.
As you
Because we
mentioned,
have-
you say your stock is running low. I supply you with
A
another.
very appropriate thing for when you go into the depths of the drugs, the true detective work. The fire kind of plays strange tricks as the light kind of reflects off the faces of your friends and kind of captures upon the armor of Lord Tuma and your new companion Tiberius. You start to get this kind of prickle in the back of your neck, and you realize that the hair is beginning to stand up. You can feel something grossly wrong about this place, and you're not quite sure how to put your finger on it until you run your test.
Okay, so this is going to be. What am I going for?
So True Detective requires a.
Where is my?
Down there.
It's not in there?
Nope, it'll be on your. It's usually on the folio, but you don't have the folio.
Where's my folio?
But if you have the player's handbook, you can look up True Detective. That don't use those. Those are old
Ancient tomes.
Those are ancient
I'm
tomes.
gonna throw it. I'm just gonna throw it.
Yeah, those books are the first prints that are like unedited.
Unrevised
They were
edition.
Okay.
very
Like
long.
pre-revised edition.
Revised.
Yeah.
Scrutinized test, thank you.
Yeah.
Scrutinized. That was
Go ahead and make a standard test.
Standard scrutinized test.
That was some scrutiny.
Your clippy clip came off your clippy
Thank
clips.
you. Alright, 62. 65.
Fortune!
Oh, I'm gonna spend my fortune
definitely
point.
reroll
Yeah.
That's been a.
Yeah, so
That's like an auto reroll.
32.
There you go.
Okay. You get a sense that the jovialness that Fitzroy is sharing is to perhaps placate the Baron. You're guessing? Now, you don't sense that there is any ill will toward them, but there is something kind of going on beneath the surface. You kind of felt it in the conversation as quickly as the Baron tried to turn the story away, but you feel this kind of almost magnetic urging from beyond the pond toward the apple tree trail. Something's lurking out there on the periphery. You just don't know what it is. Meanwhile, he's just sitting there looking at the fire with these really glassy eyes.
He's doing this. We've all been there.
As Gil was in a K-hole.
Gilly's just in there.
Yeah. Dire music dies
The
down.
smash cut was glorious. That was amazing.
That was good stuff.
You find yourselves kind of with Fitzroy, this larger than life person. No less. Do you intend to summer in Sodden?
No.
No.
I see. Well,
So without this Lord of Arms or this man of arms, what was his name again? Oh, I don't actually care.
Gerd, by the way.
Gerd. Yeah.
Upload.
You know the area really well, right?
For Clovis was like, oh, that.
I know at least Sodden and Poyle, but
That's good enough for me.
Master Adelon knows the swamps well. Why? Yes.
No, we need.
Perhaps tomorrow we could speak more, and I can see to these boots.
I'm tired. Hey, you and Baron, whatever the fuck his name is.
You gain a corruption. You can see there's an uncomfortableness between
care. I'm just
between
gonna keep
Fitzroy
going.
and the Baron at this point.
You guys just
what-
keep pushing this off here. It's time to have an actual conversation.
My friend, are you
I
deep
don't
in your
have
cuts?
friends between the two of you. I got friends on this side of the fire.
I've been at the ready
Is
for a
this
while.
your man-at-arms speak in your court, Lord Tama?
Can you answer a question or just keep pushing it to the side?
What? Why have you come here? Why do you press this way?
We've come for the Witch of the Woods.
You see kind of Fitzroy and the Baron kind of eyes shift back and forth. There is no witch in the woods. His eyes look toward the trees. Yes, of course, there's nothing out there. No such thing. It's a tale.
Why are you lying?
Is she here now? Is
What?
she
I
pulling
went
the
to the
strings?
Excuse me. Fitzroy kind of tries to collect his breath, and he kind of looks toward the Baron, and the Baron kind of stammers, and he's like, "We perhaps we can share a pipe by the fire inside."
I've had enough pipe for the night.
I come in and I crouch in front and just kind of like encroach in their space and stare at them.
You gain a corruption
Yeah, I do.
as you begin to put yourself in the middle of this.
Might go stand next to SB, but perhaps indoors might be the right move. But we will need to be direct once we move to the interior.
Of course, we shall talk directly about the old apple pie. Yes.
And I'm just eyes on SB like, let's get ready to go.
Well, aren't you slipperier than a river eel?
I
Come
send
now.
I send my Ren over to
Come now,
Guillaume,
Baron.
and I'm like,
Will you
I'm ready.
prevent him from going inside?
Yeah. Come now,
You gain a
Baron.
corruption.
Yeah. Come now, Baron. What's there to hide? Can't you tell us a nice ghost story around the fire? Tell us of the witch in the woods. Tell us of your local legends. We want to hear it. We demand it. As I lean into the fire and my armor gleams a little, I'm attempting to intimidate him a little bit.
Okay, you get a corruption. Go ahead and roll. This test is actually easy.
All right, intimidate. All right, so that's a bronze
Just the
test.
skinny guy with the
I'll stand
hangman
next to
sword,
him.
like back behind him.
57% chance to succeed.
I'll just grab my blender, just lift it just a little.
And
the
that
hangman
is
over my
a
face.
success with a 30.
Yay!
All
Much
right,
success.
So he kind of stops, and you kind of lean
Oh,
closer.
also, when I
he gets
succeed,
peril.
when I succeed an intimidate test, I inflict 1d10 plus 1 mental peril.
Roll.
Yes.
Dope.
Yes. So 9 mental peril.
Oh, the sting of his words moves him down to -1 skill rate.
Now he's gonna fail his folklore test to tell
He's
you the
looking
story.
for the entryway back into his kingdom, but he's kind of caught between a rock and a hard place.
Harath and Guillaume.
The two of them kind of stare at one another, kind of briefly.
If my boss is talking, that's what I listen to.
I back away immediately.
We should keep our voices low.
Something to be afraid of. Way to set the ambiance.
She is out there, watching, waiting, looking for others. You see, this witch, she is real. But yes, that's right. Kind of pauses. Stories, I suppose, are true, but it's not what you think it is. We are not in cahoots with her. Instead, we live beneath her shadow.
Can we get to her?
He kind of looks toward Lord Martell. I think you need to understand the situation before you go down the apple tree trail to find her.
Do tell.
I am a baron, I suppose, by simply sudden living, surviving the world of bond. When the people who came before me, when they passed, they tell me to keep the tradition alive. Every season, when the season of Ember comes, we send our fattest sow down the trail. The sow was given to the witch, a tribute, tied to an ironwood tree deep in the swamp. Some people say that when they leave the pigs and the sow tied to the tree, they see a friar, an old man with a shaved pate, come take the pig and take it to the witch. and Sodon. We took Le Porc Noir's children, a barra-bellied orc. We raised them. We give them to the witch.
She tastes the blood of the god.
Perhaps she does. I suppose she's not making simple rashers of bacon from them.
Foul sacrifice, blasphemy.
There's no gods. There's no blasphemy.
He doesn't know that.
Did we, when we were walking around town today, did we happen to see any pig farms?
No.
So you say every you keep this tradition every Ember, the season, yes. You do not
Yes,
seem
that's what it says.
to have any sows. What have you been giving her instead?
The field where the sows are grown across the pond. They stay in Poil. They are vicious, tusked beasts that can only be tamed by the youth.
Oh, so you go. You send someone to Poil to retrieve one of these tusked sows, and then you take it down the apple lane here.
When the black pig was brought to slaughter by outsiders, her piglets continue to live, but they rut and they are wild and dangerous. They live among their own in Poil, but it is the spirit of children that brings calm to their earthly anger. The children have always seen to the piglets of Le Porc Noir, as they called it. Little Lord Holmes. He looks toward the Baron. 12 winters of his age, was chosen by lottery to take White Tom to the Ironwood tree just this past month.
What makes you fear this witch?
Typically, the child returns, and eventually they grow of age and they'll be unable to, well, they can long attend to pigs, but this time, little Lord Tom did not return. It's been nearly a month. The facade that the Baron wears is to not anger the witch, for he fears he shall take, that the witch will then take his daughter. When the next season comes, she will be tasked with bringing the next sow, the brood of the black pig.
So we don't know necessarily that the witch killed the little lord, but good chance that he might have.
The child has not returned. Do not be foolish. Something happened to him. He didn't get lost on the trail, that's for sure.
Certainly.
Are there other children other than the Baron's daughter here?
There's only one child left.
How old is Pipistrella?
No, she's probably in her 20s.
Oh, okay. She was young, I just didn't know. It's like, okay. They kept asking us if we're going to stay, and I'm like...
That,
The numbers and someone have dwindled to a scant few. Yet still, the tribute must be paid.
Or what?
Perhaps Gerd Adelard can answer that for you.
What did the witch injure Gerd Adelard?
Gerd Adelard knows that story, and he has locked himself in his home. He dare not leave.
Which is his home?
Witches.
He kind of points across the way. Just the one near the old watermill. You shall find him there.
So this witch has been around even before longer than 2 years, I'm assuming.
He kind of squints his eyes. I think. You kind of sense there's just kind of emptiness inside of him. An emptiness that you too have felt. As long as I can remember.
You mentions that there were the ones that came before you to tell you to keep the tradition alive. Who are these ones in particular? If you can remember.
It was not I, but whatever Baron preceded Martel. They were involved in this war. I know just a smidgen of the story, but I know that this war of the pond, he kind of pauses, trying not to tread on like Lord Martel or Baron Martel's story, but my understanding, he is kind of checking with the Baron to ensure that all the details are right. When this Julian had drowned in puddle jumping, that stupid tradition, it caused a great war, and there were people going westward to Ghent. It is they who brought Le Porc Noir low. One of the numbers was a man named Gert Adelard. He chose to remain while the others continued west. Eventually, one of them returned. Father Orwell? He and Gerd were fast friends, but Gerd told us that Orwell was changed, and that he went into the woods. I think he is this friar.
Yeah. No, because the Master of Light's name was Alistair?
Lucius.
Lucius. That's what I was thinking. Okay, cool.
Alright.
There's a deep fear in Sodden of those who remain, that of this witch and her, I don't know what to call them, locals, at least have called them apple goblins, but you can hear their songs on the Applewood Trail.
At night?
Aye. If you listen closely, when you're on the midst of the pond, and the water was still and you're in a boat, you can hear the distant ramblings and laughing and celebration and taunting. They serve the witch.
Have you met the witch?
Good goodness, no. And even if so, she would walk among us and we would not know it. She wears the skins of men. She trades in them, I think.
Well, this witch must be dispatched, removed, excised.
I don't know how you do that. How can you bring a god low?
Well,
There's only one
you
god.
said interlopers did it before.
But it was a black pig. The Porc Noir. It was an animal, not a person.
We're talented.
Talent or no, I am saying the frog wives have talked about this, that her skin is like iron, that nothing can pierce the flesh.
I got something that can pierce the flesh.
So,
Who are these frog wives? They're not among your population, your people, are they?
There is a frog wife who sees to Gerda Ballard, sees to his well-being, harmed as he has.
Well, if you point us in the right direction,
Sure would like
we'll
to
see
meet
to
one.
it. We're quite tenacious.
and what does it matter if we die? We still gotta pay the tribute. We kill it.
And
Maybe you don't have to.
I know you've been resisting the news from outside, but soon your hand will be forced as a city of Hermosti lie to the east.
And you have,
Unknown, he whispers.
and you have no more children left after your daughter, who you presumably don't want to put in danger, but after that, you have nothing else. If the pigs won't respond, you're running out of time. You could either let us face what is to come now, or you can have the slow, dwindling death that awaits when the witch is not appeased.
I shall not forbid you from walking the trail. You are free to do as you wish. But you know, I have told you of the witch, and what she is, and what she can do. Gerd, he seek to do the same thing. He came back different.
Can we talk to Gerd?
I bet he did.
The frog wife Alma tends to him. The path to Gerd is through the frog wife. She is fiercely protective of him.
We've come back different as well. We weren't the same 2 weeks ago. You're looking at different men, different women.
The past matters not.
I don't
We
know
look
what that
towards
means, but
we look towards the future is what we mean. We, as he smiles in the firelight, exposing his pointed teeth, we're not quite. When I say tenacious, I mean that quite literally. It's very difficult to bring us low for too long. We'll be back no matter what.
if you're all true heroes, as you say, Fitzroy interjects, I shall take you to Gerd's home.
Would appreciate that.
Will you walk with me?
Yes.
Forgive my evasiveness. We don't know when the witch wears the skin of people, and we have not seen pass-throughs in some time. We thought perhaps it was a test.
Shadow hangs low over you.
The shadow covers everything here in Sodden. Since the death of the Black Pig, everything has turned to aught here. The people of Poil of Sodden. There's nothing left but ash. People are few. There is seemingly no path out. The swamps, the paths that lead to here, to and fro, twist upon themselves. I have tried to leave, but suffered great peril, and always found my way back here, back to Sodden.
Well, if this all works out, there is potential way of getting out. We could introduce him to the rest of our friends.
Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I said if it all works out.
A path of stone is lain one at a time. Let us speak more tomorrow, but first to Adelon's. He shows you toward an old watermill. He motions up the road. I think I shall go back to speak to the Baron to calm his nerves. Know that his evasiveness is only due to not only the fear of losing his other daughter, but of the tests that the witch has likely put us through before. The loss of little Lord Hans, the grief that he bears. He does not mean to offend, but he is fearful, as should you all be.
Understandably, I offer him a measure of tobacco to give to the Baron. It's to calm his nerves.
He shall appreciate this gift.
Doesn't let it get to his appetite, though.
We take a.
Yep, let's pause. So return back to the swamp. And you're kind of near this old watermill that's still slowly running. You can hear it's a working watermill for that matter, but perhaps not being worked. You can hear the water wheel kind of slowly turning and bring up the large buckets of water and kind of whatever's driving it, perhaps an adjoining creek or river, whatever it may be, that's kind of causing it to go. But the whole building seems to tremble with the great weight of the water wheel as it turns slowly. You come to the door, and standing outside is this woman. This very short woman. You guess maybe she's like maybe 4'9", and she's wearing the long dresses, sort of what you'd seen the other woman or the young girl who was picking up snails in the muck, and she has kind of a rough spun woolen hood over her face, and she kind of puts her hand out like this, wordlessly, and she begins to motion with her hands speaking without using words, which is still something you can immediately pick up on.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start trying to converse with her in still sign.
Yeah. So the two of them begin conversing, and she explains, as they're speaking silently at this point, that she's uncertain why you've come, but Gerd has been cursed, and you shouldn't go inside.
And I would like to challenge that and allow at least one of us inside to speak to him.
She pauses and says, I can't tell you not to go inside, but you should know the risks.
Okay.
He's been touched by the witch's weapon.
Okay. So I convey this to Tamara.
Tell her we're already all cursed. We need to worry about anything more.
Well, both. I mean, Tomas, if he's really hurt, should we have Pip look him over? And obviously, above board, we know Pip's not here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, certainly, yeah, absolutely.
And so, not to speak for Pip, but
I mean, I assume this woman here is already tending to him. I don't know. Is Pip can assess her?
I'll ask, what kind of tending have you done? Does it require any other medical?
Spiritual cleansing, she says.
Does he have physical wounds that need to be tended to?
He has been spiritually wounded, she repeats.
Ask her what the nature of the curses. If we need to know the danger,
Okay.
then
What are the risks?
She doesn't understand the question.
What is the Switch's weapon, if she knows that? If Gerd was able to describe it at all.
Do you know what the weapon?
She issues a word that can only be read as sorcery.
Okay.
Magic.
Have you been close to Gerd yourself, or have you stayed away from him?
We share the same bed.
Okay. Well, I'd like to go.
Dedicated woman.
What language does he speak?
He speaks your tongue. He too is an outsider.
Okay. I'd like to go. I'd like to take Clovis with me.
what are we doing?
You're coming in with me.
All right.
So you will leave everybody else outside?
You don't want to come in?
Toma, do you think we should all go in?
They can stay outside if they want, but I'll be going in.
I'm curious by nature. I will be going in.
I'm going. I go where they go.
Oh, well, I guess, and I go ahead and tell her, I said, well, we're all going to go in and have a conversation.
Risk the magic.
She says the gods are dead, but sorcery lives.
I convey that to you guys.
This we know.
I will believe. This one will
I don't know if this works, but
I'm keenly aware that the gods.
You
Clovis is like, point me towards that so I can kill it.
where? Show me where. You head inside, and the inside of this place is dressed as someone who's likely lived here for a long time. You see very human trappings about this place, where likely Gerd and this frog wife, Alma, have made a home. You can see curios.
Another Alma.
You can see curios along the shelves, things that they've collected, an altar to their love. There is an empty crib that has no bed dressing in it whatsoever. But in the distant corner, as she walks through with a candle, a hurricane lantern, she leads you through the living quarters and into the bed. And you can see Gerd, you see the bed bathed in moonlight as those shutters are open outside. But there's a thick, kind of a heavy kind of curtain that would bar you from seeing him. And she explains he doesn't want to show his face to anyone.
Can I see his hands?
No. He doesn't want. She says more specifically, he doesn't want to be seen. But he'll talk to you.
Well, I gotta see his hands to talk to him.
No,
He can speak. He speaks
all.
the tongue of the outsiders. He speaks.
Oh.
Sorry. Yes.
Sorry, I thought it was still sign. Okay, sorry. Gotcha. Okay. Toma, take it away.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Lord Thomas Laurent. We spoke with the Baron, your liege. We want to hear of this witch of the wood. We come to dispatch her.
As you can see, the moonlight come through the windows. It actually kind of softly illuminates his silhouette behind the thin, rough-spun curtains. You can see him breathing as he kind of turns his body over in the bed to face you, lying down. And he manages to kind of... He says, "Hi. Are you from Aglador?" He says, his voice shuddering.
Are we familiar with the town called that?
Pip is. Again, Pip's. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I'm trying to here to do, Dan. I'm not trying to.
Of course.
I'm not trying to.
Are you from Ghent?
I'm from Ghent, yes.
As am I.
Yes.
Have you seen Bullock?
Now, who might that be?
No, not familiar with
My good friend, Bullock Bean.
that name does not sound familiar to me.
He was supposed to meet me today to break our fast.
At that, I want to look to his wife.
Uh-huh.
Sort of a quizzical expression. I don't speak the language, but
You kind of make an expression at her.
yeah.
The frog wife kind of, she mentions with her hands, says with her hands that Bullock died a year ago. My husband's mind is frayed. She kind of, whatever you think. What would be an ASL like frayed, like torn, like frayed at the ends? How would you interpret that?
Frayed at the ends, like literal?
Yeah.
Oh. That would be tough. Because I'm thinking of brain and mind and memory.
So cloth torn as a metaphor
So
for
I would
the
have-
mind breaking. Okay. Yeah. So she makes that motion.
Miss Millicent, if you would, does he tend to just repeat things from his memory? Just this over and over again, and perhaps other things that he remembers?
I basically ask it in a different way. Does he recall the same things over and over again, or does he recall random thoughts at random times?
She says that his mind becomes clear when I administer smelling salts, but I over administer to bring clarity.
For how long? How long does the smelling salt clarity last?
It passes within an hour, he says.
Can we?
Does anybody have a skill rank in heal?
Pip does.
I do.
Yes! Good man.
What do you want to say to the others?
So I tell him about the smelling salts, and
Will you translate directly what she said?
yeah. So
Yeah, so she says the words over administer, which you know that smelling salts, like if administered too quickly in the passage of the sun's rise and set, that it can actually be highly poisonous.
like an overdose.
How often does she do this?
Well, yeah. Let me ask. How many times a day do you administer or over administer?
Our supplies are run low. We have nothing left.
Ask her if she's aware that's poisonous.
You know that
She's
can
aware.
alter his mind.
Okay. Making sure. Good.
Anyone have smelling salts?
What can you tell us of the witch? We may not need them. We should ask first.
She said, I will not speak of that whore. The whore of the devil. She won't speak of it.
I wonder if our Soma can.
She'll say, specifically, she'll say to Spillicent, "Are you talking to?"
I think Gerd.
Oh, Gerd. He,
Yeah,
oh,
call
his
back
voice
after.
kind of. Buwak. We were going to have apple pie.
Oh,
I'm gonna try something weird. I don't know. It might work. It might not. Can I try playing the mandolin of memory? I don't know. If he seems to be stuck on certain memories.
You want to play the mandolin of memory?
Yeah.
What song will you play? The one carved in the back.
Yeah, that was actually either the one that either Poe was doing that night, because I do actually have decent intelligence, so hopefully I can remember that, and I actually have folklore as well, so I might be able to
And
get
it's
that.
on the back of the.
It's
And then-
carved in the actual.
It is actually carved.
You sure you want to play that? Because it's, you know, kept.
no, he said I love this. I love this.
It's already
Yeah,
said.
no, this is
This
a
is
twofer for
great.
Guillaume.
Oh, I guess that's right. I forget about
Yeah.
Little...
Oh no, yeah, I've been really curious about this whole 2-year thing, and oh yeah, no.
So he pulls out the mandolin and he begins to play the song. And Tiberius, you can feel this great sorrow begin to fill your heart. You need to make it a challenging resolve test to keep from withstanding peril from sorrow.
I get to re-roll those if I fail. Because I have the Templar ability. That's nice.
Oh, you flipped the fails, by the way.
What? No, I hate this. No, stop doing that. Challenging flip to fail. Challenging flip to fail, resolve.
Go ahead and write it on the card.
Yeah.
Alright,
Mandolin
willpower,
provokes sorrow. Flip to
57,
fail. Challenging resolve.
57, flip to fail. Oh, that's a 72, but I get to re-roll. But I have to take whatever the second one is, I believe. Nope, that's a 73 instead of 72.
You gain 6 corruption.
You want to re-roll?
He can't.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
You can't use coins after
You gain 12 mental peril and 6 corruption. So the mandolin of memory does 6 corruption and 2d10 plus 2 mental peril. Go and write that down.
Doki doki.
I do this slope up.
So I...
Oh, come on. That's shitty. You get a corruption.
Okay.
That's not nice.
Plus 2d6. What was it?
That's page, not your
2d6 plus
character.
That was me.
10 plus 2 mental peril.
2d. Good. God.
Yeah, so Tiberius, the
Yeah,
song
thanks.
fills you with sorrow.
Yeah, I was gonna react.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tiberius. As soon as he starts hearing the song, like you seem like go kind of go kind of rigid for a second, because he was looking over at Gerd, and so he, like as the songs were playing, you seem to go really rigid for him, like stand up perfectly straight, and then just sort of like as I turn to you, like eyes just wide, I'm like backing, I got back up like into whatever's behind me, not paying attention at all, just trying to put distance between me and this song.
Guillaume is staring right back, studying your every move.
Yeah. I don't say anything. I just stare at you while the song is being played and just, I don't know, hit a cupboard or something.
Yeah.
Unless if I, well, I'm going to assume I probably don't. I don't know. I was like, if I go backwards, do I end up going unintentionally beyond the curtain? Or, nah.
Do you want? If you want to do that, you can spend a fortune point to edit the situation.
No. I'll just back into like a cupboard. Like,
Okay.
back, like some piece of furniture around me, just
Okay.
staring. Wordlessly. Eyes wide.
I will.
It doesn't seem to bring Gerd out of his stupor. However, it certainly provokes some thoughts in Tiberius's mind.
Interesting. Thank you. He does stop and continues to look at you after he does stop. I'm studying you the entire time.
Once the song is done, I will I cast my eyes to the ground and just start mumbling to myself.
You find yourself almost for a moment in the darkness of the room, searching frantically for something to eat, perhaps a bug, your friends that were in the cavern, but you realize you're not there. I mean, you're not mad, or are you?
I wonder if Soma would affect him in any way.
Tiberius, you smoke. Gonna immediately just pack a pipe with tobacco, light it, and hand it to him. Not looking at you at all, just down this way, hands very slow.
Yours if you want it.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll be fine.
Very well.
Thank you. Still not making eye contact at all.
The frog wife appears to be confused, but she says nothing beyond that. She says only smelling salts will awaken him out of his stupor.
Oh, with the Soma?
Does anybody...
She said only smelling salts
Only smelling.
will awaken him out of his stupor.
Shoot.
Okay.
I mean, who else does... Nobody else has smelling salts?
No.
I
The
have
man's
some
already been administered today.
Oh, it has been administered today?
Deleterious effect. Perhaps we should return on the morrow.
Alright.
like I've done enough damage
We
tonight.
should let the man sleep. Get some rest ourselves.
Yes.
It's been a long day.
Alright.
You broke him.
Your rest here in Sodden is actually not very comforting at all, as you will awaken to imperiled.
Oh. Does he get an extra imperiled? Or an extra peril?
No, you
Okay.
just awaken to imperiled no matter where you're at.
Everybody does.
Okay. Gotcha.
The next
That's right.
morning comes.
That is mental peril, yeah? Or just imperiled?
It's just you're just moved to imperiled.
Cool. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just get moved wherever, no matter where you're at. You recover to imperiled. Even if
You don't
dead.
suffer peril. You just wake up
Yeah,
that
just
way.
wake up
Oh,
at that. That's
okay.
right.
Gotcha.
So the next day comes and it's already pretty warm outside. The heat is there. There's nobody out in the muddy streets. You can see the watermill near the edge of the pond, the lake, and you can see that the young girl who you had seen before is out in the water, wearing her skirts, and she's spooning for fish or for snails.
Just wake up and make myself some coffee. Take off.
Ooh, that did the trick! You gain 1 corruption, but you also move to unhindered.
Hey, let's go.
Coffee moves you from imperiled to unhindered.
Nice.
You can't sleep.
And corruption.
Yeah, and a corruption, that's right. You two can have caffeine addiction and Zweihander.
It's debilitating.
What do I get? I gain corruption!
I already have that in real life.
I know, right?
I am truly an addict.
So,
I would like to, if possible, go talk to Gretel. Right?
yeah.
Her name? Gretel?
Yeah, she's, you would guess she's maybe 10 winters old.
Okay.
At best. She's out she's out spooning up snails. She kind of looks up, and she still is a little bit uncomfortable. And this all is going to happen within the past 24 hours, but what can help you with? She averts her eyes.
Yeah, keeping a nice distance away, like 15 feet. Good morning. Just searching for more snails then today?
Oui.
Is that just what you like to do every day? Make some pies for your old man?
She kind of stammers.
Oh, well, I didn't mean to intrude. Just passing through. Have yourself a good morning.
She nods and quickly gathers the bucket up full of snails and heads out into the woods.
Right as she leaves, I'm like, good luck next year with the tending of the pigs.
Oh.
Seeing if I can't get any sort of reaction.
She yeah, that's 3 corruption.
Okay.
And she stops and she
You're-
turns around and you
You're
can
getting
see
some
that
Spillicin
you can
sass
see
there.
the fear in her eyes.
As soon as I see that, we're gonna do everything we can to where you're not gonna have to worry about that.
She says,
I mean it.
she drops the bucket and storms off. And her brother just died.
Fair enough.
It's a pretty deep cut.
I go over to him and I just like give him a shove, like a
Yeah, listen, that's my fault. I kind of got into
This is
too
like
straight of a
pot and the kettle
mode.
talking to each
That's
other.
my
Come
fault.
on, man.
yeah.
That's my fault. You're right.
A little crazy.
Tripping over your tongue there, aren't you?
I just want to ask a lot of questions and get even more answers. That's all.
Let's just get out of this, gosh. This God's forsaken place.
Yes.
Let's go talk to this man. Gerd or
Yes. Let's talk to Gerd.
let's
Let's tarry no longer than we need.
let's get past this apple thing.
Ugh.
Let's go.
You're gonna go back to the.
We'll try
Watermelon
Gerd again.
She'll welcome you inside once more. The shutters are open to let the air inside.
I'll hand her one of my smelling salts.
She nods and kind of motions for you to stop, so you're not behind. So she goes behind the curtain. Anybody try to peek behind the curtain?
No.
Pay no attention to the man.
2 corruption. So you kind of are looking around the curtain, even though she said he doesn't want to be seen, and you continue to break the courtesies of Son. And you can see. At first, you're like, "Oh, he just looks like he's fine," and then your eyes begin to turn toward where his arm would be, and you can see this greenish growth, and his arm has become stunted and small as it's withdrawn unusually toward his elbow, toward his shoulder, like it's grown smaller and twisted. And you need to succeed a challenging resolve test.
Sometimes it's better not to look.
Uh-oh.
I did that. I'm so shocked.
$42 to succeed.
Not meant for mortal eyes.
I got
Should've asked
17.
about the
Nice.
weight.
Okay. You steel yourself, but it is a frightening. Thing to look at as she kind of parts from the curtains. From your side, from the light of the daylight pouring in beyond the shuttered windows, windows are open outside. You can see his form kind of move over once again, just the shape of him in the bed. My head. Oh, my head. Oh, I can feel it. Oh, the pain. Ah, the pain. Who are you?
Good morning to you. My name is Thomas Laurent, as I introduce the rest of the group.
How did you come to Sodom?
East. Come from the east.
There is no east. There's only... How did you make it through the swamp?
One foot after the other. Before that, field of pillars of salt. And before that, the city of Hermasti. The trail here is perilous indeed.
The damned walk to the east?
I imagine so.
As is west is to the east.
They close in around you.
The city of Ghent. It too was... There's a pregnant pause. Surely you didn't come here to tell me news of the dead rising.
No, but we come to dispatch or see to the Witch of the Wood. I told you would have knowledge of her that would aid us in this task.
Oh, I have seen the Witch of the Wood. Her poison courses through me now.
Am I in the room?
Oh, you're all in the room.
Yeah.
We're all in there. Okay.
Yeah, you're all in there.
I'd like to ask, do you know of any way in which we could avoid what happened to you?
She is the Witch of the Wood. The forest is hers. She knows all that passes beneath its boughs.
Has she any distinguishing marks so we know when we see her?
If you believe the story, she has a witch's teeth, a long nose, ragged-looking hair, and rides around on a broom. Is that what you want to know?
Anything?
To confirm the folk tales?
Well, we don't give a shit about the folk tales. We want to hunt this bitch down. We want to light her on fire. And we want to move on to to the next one.
How did you track her, find her, if she runs the woods?
She got minions. What are we walking into here, man? Be a soldier again.
It's not. It's bad. It's real bad. Martel, the applemonger, his son, Hans, took White Tom about a month ago to tie it off to the old tree. I came back here to help. I don't know why I came back here, but I'm here, and when Hans didn't return, I struck out. I thought it the right thing to do. I followed the apple tree trail to where I knew that the children had tied off the pigs. Adults. Men grown don't walk that trail, just the children. Call it a old wives' tale or custom or whatever it is, but I tread there carefully and I saw the ironwood tree. And that's when I saw my old friend. Orwell Claviger, the friar himself, right there. As he mentions the word Claviger.
Clavinger?
Yes.
She's a Clavinger.
Oh. How fickle the Night Father is. What a...
Isn't that who you're
Strange.
searching for, Pip?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
That's who she's searching for, right? That's what I thought.
Another Claviger here? She says. I thought they were gone.
No. You go past the teeth and you can't throw a rock without hitting a Clavinger, according to her.
Yeah. That's the way it was in Ecuador. At least along the teeth. Oh, that was years ago. But any road, I followed the father. I saw him in the woods and I yelled out and he kept wandering deeper into the trail, and I followed him for what seemed like from midday to sundown. And I swear, in the midst of the night, his skin sloughed off like an old coat, hung the limb of a tree, and a woman, naked, comely, beautiful, emerged from his flesh. I saw the witch. I saw her prognostications into a bog. She was talking to something beneath the water. She kept calling it Edwin. And that's when I lost my footing. And then the rest is fleeting. I made it back here by the morning. Don't rightfully know how, but then I heard the song of the children in the woods, and that's when I noticed that something was wrong, like really, really wrong with me. And her curse has taken my arm, and it's gonna take me. He trails off.
Let's go.
Does the name Edwin mean anything to you?
A name of a thing in the woods I remember before, years ago. When we first came to this place, a little girl kept talking about Edwin, kept feeding it snails. We didn't think it was real. We just thought it was a child's mind, but
Is the little girl the witch?
It was only, what, 2 years ago?
I don't know.
I don't know how long it's been. I don't know the timeline there, guys.
Well, they mentioned that back during the war, it
Good.
was a couple of years ago.
Good, you're in
Nobody
service
has any
to the
idea.
Baron now, correct?
I serve at Martel's request.
And his wife,
I
and his son and daughter.
I have failed, Hans.
What about you failed Hans, but you're looking to but we're looking to make sure that you can make sure Gretel can stay safe, right? That's what where you wish to be back to.
What good do wishes do in this world? The gods are dead.
Yet we are not.
It's mainly trying to see if he will acknowledge the existence of Gretel. So
Definitely doesn't speak about the Baron as a Baron.
Numbers here in Sodden have dwindled. Hans was first. The season of Ember will change, and it will be Gretel.
Who was it before Hans?
Some such child. I
Only have
can't
one.
seem to recall, but the child perished.
In delivering the
No,
sacrifice? No.
he got sick, and he got so sick that they had to turn him to the swamp, lest he infect everyone. Every child who have brought the brood of Laporte Noir to the woods have grown ill over the however many seasons it's been. You can hear them in the still of night on the lake. You can hear them talking and laughing, playing, abandoned by their own father and mother. Hans is the last of his children. I was going to take him and leave all this behind. I thought I could. I know that iron does not pierce her skin. An alabaster beauty that turns away steel and iron.
Noted.
From what I do remember, but Hans is the last of the children here. All of Lord Martel's children have perished, have been turned to the swamp, correct himself. But Hans is the first now to return.
except for Gretel, of course.
Her time will come. She is the last.
Okay.
And then there will be none.
Has anybody just thought about going to Poil and slaughtering these pigs so this witch doesn't have anything?
That's a solution that is a season in the making, if not more. We intend to act now. I know.
Well,
I know we can kill off the line, but I don't necessarily know that it's the swine that she seeks.
I thought the same. I mean, I was one of the few who laid the black pig to rest. I still have its skin. I wore it thinking it would be a ward against this witch's sorcery that would protect me somehow. It did not. As you look across the room, you can see there's this heavy cloak, this black mantle made of a fine pig's fur. Looks almost like black sable.
Has anyone seen these children after they've been turned into the swamp?
So a couple came back sick.
Yeah, and then they kind of cared for them for as long as possible and then turned them away, correct? Unless they poison everywhere, get everyone else sick, correct?
They now cavort in the woods on their own. All of the brood of Martell.
Interesting. Just Martell? Any other sons and daughters from anyone else's line?
There's no one left in Sodden.
Mm.
I too have felt this spiritual wound. Even now, I am changing like they did. There's a punctuation on changing.
The Apple
He says
Goblin.
it. The children of Martell. Sons of the Baron. What world, what god would condemn children to such fate?
There is no God.
There's no gods.
They're dead.
There is only the witch.
We're in hell and we're fighting against this witch and I don't know what his name is. Lord of the Light or
Minister of Light, yes.
Master of Puppets.
Lucius Lightbringer.
I know nothing of.
I don't know
Lucius
anything about it.
Lightbringer.
Just want to.
But if you can lay low this witch, if there is truly a way, I know your kind. I was like you. I thought I could change things. I did for a time, but if you're going to find the witch and save Gretel, you should take the pelt. I don't think I'll have need of it ever again.
Okay.
What's the code?
The boar pelt.
Oh, Poplar Noir or whatever.
La Porte Noir.
I shan't refuse the gift of a godslayer, as I'll take on the mantle.
Wait. His hand reaches out from underneath the from between the curtains, and he grabs a hold of your hand. You see this stunted small arm that's like turned like this disgusting green. Promise me you're going to do this. Don't leave Gretel to this fate. Don't abandon her. Swear to me.
I swear it. Have hope, Gerd.
Swear to the saint.
I swear to the memory of the saint.
His little fingers her twisted fingers kind of let go, and you can see these fingernails that look more like the color of black enamel that kind of reach back like talons from his hands.
Don't let cruel nostalgia overtake you. Have hope.
The frog wife Alma says he's going to pass soon. His memory is frayed. We should leave him to rest. I don't know how much time he has left.
And I convey it.
Open your mind.
Something to ease his passing as I pass a seed pot of opium to her.
She will accept it and nod. She will usher you out of the.
Once she said that I was already leaving.
Yeah.
What time is it?
Translated.
It's still fairly early, 10 a.m. in the morning.
Do you think we should go on out, or should we spend the day getting a plan together and go first thing in the morning so we can have all the daylight?
Let's not tarry.
Honestly, Tomas, don't worry about our people.
Me too.
Let's not tarry, as I said.
Perhaps
Let's-
also if we were able to deal with this
witch, we can maybe stop the rest of the transformation.
To the Apple Lane.
Let's go.
Post haste.
You know that Pipistrella was lingering around the edge of the water. You saw her earlier with Gretel when she had the bucket of snails.
Mm-hmm.
She helped her pick them up, and they both disappeared into the forest. Pipistrella, to be specific. She's down here.
The only other thought I had was talking to the cobbler if he had interesting curios or anything we might be able to throw at this witch. But other than that, I didn't have any other plans.
I say we leave a message with the Baron. Should Pipistrella wonder where we were, she'd know to follow us down the trail.
When he spoke,
That's a good point.
when good.
I don't want to split the party up. It may put us in danger, now that you mention it. Suppose there is some wisdom in preparation, given what we know.
I think we should prep. I'd like to go see if we can find honey before we go.
When Good spoke of the girl who brought snails to Edwin, he spoke of the witch speaking to Edwin, but also spoke of the girl bringing snails to Edwin, right? I thought it might be Gertie.
Gretel?
Gretel. My apologies. Yes.
Oh, good. And then I just pissed her off. That's.
Why I couldn't help but wonder if. I just thought it was odd how he spoke of Hans as if Hans were the last, but then spoke of Gretel as if Gretel was the last, and perhaps it was his out of mind, or perhaps Gretel isn't what or who we think she is. I don't know. I don't think I'm making sense. My apologies.
Does make sense.
We have
Where's Pip?
an apparent foe ahead of us, in front of us, that we know, the witch, and we have this mysterious Edwin.
Let's take the time to plan. See if we could find some honey. Get some bandages ready.
I know my way around a bit about medicine.
All right,
And
I
we
really just need you guys. Where the hell is Pip?
Yeah, we need to find Pip.
That's it. We don't leave people behind.
Let's get where we need and go.
You turn back toward the woods where you'd seen the young girl, where you'd scared her off. She dropped the bucket. And you're pretty sure they went through there because you can see the where the grass and the trees have parted.
And Pip already helped pick up the
Yeah, where they had passed through. That's the only place they could possibly be.
Let's
Because
track
you'd see her otherwise in the city, and we will draw tonight's session to.
Let's track him down.
Yeah. So, okay, so first off, the Black Pelt.
Yeah!
Several summers ago, a local demigod called La Porte Noire of Sodom was slaughtered by outsiders.
It's so good.
Its black pelt somehow fell into the hands of a priest of the Winter King until they died of heat stroke. The effect, when you have this sacred remnant, when wearing this pelt, ignore all toughness tests.
Nice.
So many notes.
Dude, this mandolin of memory.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
Oh, mandolin of corruption.
No kidding.
the mandolin.
The
Billy went down to Georgia.
Billy
went down to Sutton.
The thing is like it's not helpful to us. It only hurts us.
Yeah, the mandolin of fuck Tiberius specifically.
I do kind of realize we're going against an enemy whose apparently skin is iron, so. Oh, I don't know.
All right.
So,
Try
corruption,
everything, right?
corruption roll for tonight.
As far as I can tell, we're gonna have to
I need to get some order.
Don't we all need
so much
orders?
corruption.
Oh, I got a lot.
Yeah. What's the most corruption? What did everybody get for corruption today?
I got 5.
6.
Wow. Yeah.
6.
If this equal or lesser to, then your corruption earned, you gain 1 chaos rank. Or 1.
Shit.
Everyone gets corruption.
Oh, I am very close
Everybody
to
gets
it.
chaos rank.
It's gonna be a really nice
Chaos.
non-corrupted day there, pal.
Yeah, well,
You roll
listen.
a 1.
Guillaume's
Yeah, I get it.
curious like a kitty, and you're gonna have to deal with that.
Equal to or less than the.
What are you
value
at now?
have.
So everybody-
Here's like
I am at
Risky,
7
even if
chaos.
you get 1 corruption.
Same.
Well, so where are you at on the track on ordering chaos ranks?
I'm at 8 chaos, 6 order.
Where are you at?
7 chaos, 7 order.
Nice. What about Clovis?
2 chaos, 3 order. I have 3 permanent orders though.
I'm at 5 chaos and 7 order.
Nice.
I'm a fine drink. I'm a 7 and 7.
Ooh.
All 6s and 7s.
Says the person who doesn't
Yeah.
drink.
So let's talk about tonight's session. Let's start first with Clovis. Let's mix that.
Oh, man, I'm used to going last here.
That's
It's
fine.
hard,
You
isn't it?
are curveball.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know. Clovis is kind of. He's kind of taken aback. Yeah, further. He's just kind of stepping back and letting the people who should be leading lead, and besides, he's the blunt tool here. He really just sees himself as that. If Tama gets in a fix, or one of the guys, if somebody on the team gets in a fix, that's what he's for. He doesn't want to be bothered by most of this shit. He really doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, he really thinks guy in the big hat, witch in the woods, light guy. We're on a path.
That's right, light guy. That's
I mean,
right.
we're just basically you're knocking heads off until you get to the light guy.
A simple mind is a clean mind.
It is.
There is a level of parsimony that is really awesome about that, though. Yeah, because like we'll get into super complicated shit, and your Clovis is like, "Well, what about this?" We're like, "Oh,
Just cut through the crap.
yeah."
Well, how about Guillaume? Let's talk about Guillaume's perspective.
Tremendously guilty. No, feeling terrible about the girl, and like literally just we just got really on top of the mystery stuff. And this is he's in his sweet spot right now. He like quite literally, this is like he is serving a purpose. He is helping others. He is on a trail of something that makes absolutely no sense, and that has all these different threads, and he wants all of them. Which is why he's like he got real point A to point B, very very straight lines today, because like all of this is none of it sat right, man. So yeah, that's how he's feeling. He's feeling good, perhaps a little trepidatious about this witch who apparently can't get stabbed. So not feeling great about his new mortuary sword or anything, but yeah, no, mostly just wants to find the next thread, pull on it.
How about those children of Martell or goblins?
That was wild.
Dark.
That was very dark.
What about for Tiberius?
Oh yeah. So okay. So Tiberius is kind of now understands Clovis a little bit better, because I've kind of hitched my horse right now to the two of you, and you realizing that Tomas is a bit more of the level-headed one, that Clovis seems to be a very violent man.
Good cop, violent.
Yeah, good cop.
Awesome.
So actually, he is feeling right now, but he does trust the two of them. He's a bit unsure of Espelson, mainly because Espelson seems very unsure of him, and absolutely does not trust Guillaume. Well, Guillaume is he witnessed
Testing you.
well, he tests everyone, right? So
Yeah.
Tiberius has realized that Guillaume
This is inquisitive nature.
shitstarter. Yes. What was the phrase you said? Curious kitty.
I'm just curious as a kitty, man.
Yeah. So he's he like at this point he's like keeping away from you as much as he can. The to know that to think he had escaped and then to realize that because it's hard for him to tell if he's actually out of that cave or not, and he's still a bit unsure. And this just sort of is sort of tipping him in that direction that he won't escape that cave. That even if he does escape that cave, he will not escape that cave. And here we are now in a new prison. Right, this apple orchard, this prison that others have found themselves in, and can't escape, and it's just like it's like there's a special hell for Tiberius. Like sees this special hell wherever he goes, and the one constant is this song, right? So yeah,
That's good.
oh.
What about Spittleston?
So being currently at equal chaos and equal order, my man at arms is kind of coming out a little bit, especially with my pioneer background and being kind of in this environment that I am very comfortable in. Rather than like the last one, I was very chaotic. This one, I feel a little more ready to get to work and figure
What
out
does get
what's
to
going
work
on.
mean?
Slay the
Let's
witch.
go a little deeper. Okay.
I'd like to slay the witch and protect the, because my order rank is heroism, and now there's kids involved, and I want to make sure that no kids get hurt, and so I'm ready to go after this witch 100%.
Good. Okay.
And they're and they feel comfortable in this actual environment of wooded, marshy, all this stuff. I feel very at home and very comfortable and ready and not very fearful at all.
Yeah. So finally, last but not least, Lord Tamar.
So I think there's something about the way some of the Tomas companions are taking some lines of questioning with some of the people of Sodden that doesn't quite set well with him. You know, that kind of poking at the Baron, you know, prodding him for information when he wasn't comfortable with it. The line of questioning with the young girl, and, you know, some of these pointed questions where, you know, didn't set well with them in terms of like, oh, that's quite rude of you to say such things, or, you know, all this stuff. But at the same time, his order and chaos ranks, or order and chaos alignments are curiosity and cruelty. So he hesitates to rein the party in because of his own morbid curiosity of what will happen if someone actually fucking says the thing that they shouldn't.
Yeah.
So he, on one hand, he's like torn, you know, and thinking like what they're doing is wrong. It sickens him. It's you know, this loss of humanity. It's this like we're becoming the Hermosti in how inhumane we treat everyone around us. But at the same time, there's a sick curiosity to see what will happen. What is underneath the rock.
Yeah.
So he's willing to stomach this cruelty to, you know, finally find out what needs to be found out to progress the party further, and he even kind of dips his toe into it a little bit himself, and when he pressures the Baron, and kind of steps on his toes and forces his hand.
Yeah.
So you know, I think the gaining of a chaos rank is really fitting for him, because he feels like he's pushing his own boundaries in a way. He's like set boundaries, personal boundaries for himself, but he's breaching them, and it makes him feel sick to himself, and it's like his humanity is leaking away.
Yeah, I think that's the interesting part of this story that happened after Big Hat Guy. It was like, so if death is not what we think it is, like what does it mean not only for our character story but our characters themselves on paper, and how you kind of push and pull and stretch boundaries, and it goes back to, I think, the thing that you kind of suggested very early on that I think is really interesting, is this idea of like, don't lose your humanity. Yet that is the test, right? That is the reason corruption exists in Zweihander, is to like see how far you're willing to stretch. To not lose who you are. But
that's the easy way. That's the quickest way to accomplish your task. Is to break down the walls. It's to ask the question that you shouldn't. It's to do the thing that
the most destructive
makes
thing.
everyone uncomfortable. It's the thing that you know, we're turning into Hermosti, and this is quickening the path.
Yeah, that's the big takeaway too, with the way that we've kind of set up this system, to where, you know, when you gain 10 chaos ranks, you'll get something in return, and then you get a permanent chaos rank, and then you'll grow faster and faster and faster and faster until you have nothing but permanent chaos ranks, and then you flip every time. So regardless, I think it's an interesting observation, and it's really kind of integral to the entire Zweihander experience, which is like, How far can we push without like actually going over the edge?
Your monstrous actions have physical consequences.
Yeah, spiritual.
Spiritual. Well, I mean,
but
for our characters,
Oh,
as we start to gain this corruption. And
right now they're physical.
Right.
We don't know what happens next.
Yeah,
I made a note to
that's a good
myself
point.
to not lose my cerebranity.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what y'all are talking about.
I really appreciate when you all push and pull like this. This is the thing that I love as a game master.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see the characters kind of test themselves and test the story.
Yeah.
And corruption is like that's the result of it, but that's okay because it's not a penalty. It's a it kind of shows how you're once again it's kind of how you mechanize how the characters are letting their humanity slip, if you will.
Well, as the newest RPG member, I was always so nervous to do things that pop up in my head because I don't know the etiquette
super into that.
Yeah.
of how to do stuff. But now I'm starting to feel a little more comfortable with just being like, boom, this is popping up. I'm gonna do it or say it.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I'm liking that.
Well, we'll continue next week with creepy apple goblins and weird witches wearing the skins of men and hanging them off tree limbs. Nothing weird about that. And Adam will be back.
Hey,
Yeah.
Pip.
See you next week.
I need to
Bye.
buy my pants.
Hey there, viewers. If you like what you're seeing, take the next step. Head on over to our Patreon where we create content for Zweihander and other games. Just go to grimandperilous.com and click on the Patreon button. Thanks.